And hello everyone, welcome to the Sept of Shadows by Firelight. As you've seen, I believe we now have chat visible directly on the stream. It's something I'm trying out. Literally, it was something I implemented 3 or 4 seconds before I click start streaming, so we'll see how it plays out. It was a suggestion that Terraria made a couple of weeks ago, to exactly as he's saying right now, so that I don't need to read it out loud anymore. Not that I minded it per se, but it's something that I did mostly for the YouTube crowd who might watch the video later on or not live per se, and for them to understand what I'm talking about, I had to read the chat to give it context, which I don't need to do anymore. Right now what I can do is I just literally I can just react to what I'm reading as I'm reading it, so it should be more natural, and yes, maybe even save a little bit of time. Who knows? Probably not going to be a huge impact, but for me it's going to be a more direct contact, which I think I'm going to enjoy a little bit more. So in terms of news, World of Darkness news, it's been pretty slow. I've got nothing much to say. Video games, it's been pretty slow too. Except they somehow snuck past me the new character in Smash. Usually as soon as the trailer, the 30 minutes trailer where they show like all of the new tricks, 3 seconds after it goes live, everyone knows, and everyone is watching and everyone's talking about it. But I learned yesterday that the character's been out for an entire week and no one's talking about it, so that was a bit weird. Haven't had time to try her out yet, so not much comment. I'm looking forward to trying her though. It's Pyra and Mithra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Hope I'm getting the title right. It's been a while. Very much looking forward to trying them. They seem pretty standard in terms of fighters, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. My favorite character is Link. You can't go any more standard than that, and I'm having a blast whenever I play him. So I'm looking forward to trying them. It seems like they nailed the sword fighter feel essentially with this one, because we have a lot of sword fighters, but a lot of them are a bit out there, not necessarily very interesting to play. Like most of the copies of Fire Emblem character that are all the same are just not very interesting to me. But at least Pyra and Mithra, they seem to be trying something else. So maybe we'll talk more. Maybe we'll talk more about that eventually. And I'm mentioning Smash, and I find it very funny because Rashazan, which is a big fan of Smash as well, is instantly like, "What? You ditched Piranha Plant?" No, I did not ditch Piranha Plant. Piranha Plant is still my main, to be clear. But if I have to say who's my favorite, I kind of have to say Link, because I played Link for, I don't know, 20-ish years. Ever since I started playing Smash, Link has been my main, so I kind of have to give him the credit for being overall my favorite character, sort of, because he's been in my heart for so much longer than Piranha Plant. But my main is still Piranha Plant and always will be. There are some new characters that I really like. I like them all, because most of the new ones really try new things, which they didn't do with Pyra and Mithra, but at least the other ones, they really try something new, which I find to be refreshing, so I like playing them just to change the pace a little bit. But no, Piranha Plant is absolutely still my main, but I really liked Sephiroth, actually. Gonna have to play some more with him eventually to really master him. I don't think he's going to stay in terms of one of my favorites, but I had fun when I tried him out when he came out. Mama's boy, yeah, for sure. Still one of my favorite jokes ever. It's Reshazan's referring an old video where some guy is cosplaying Kefka, going around in a convention somewhere. That's something like 10 or 15 years ago, and eventually he crosses path, if memory serves, with another cosplayer who's cosplaying Sephiroth, and he just keeps calling him Mama's Boy, which, if you've played Final Fantasy VII, the original one, you know that to be dangerously accurate. So let me just scroll back up because I may have missed a couple of things. I did play Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I did. I really liked it, but also kind of didn't. Like, I love the exploration in this game. It is fantastic and majestic and done oh so very much right. The concept of the world is amazing. It's mind-blowing. I really adore feeling like I'm on this Titan. The storyline is what turned me off a little bit. In the beginning it was fine, but as it progressed further, there were some narrative missteps that kind of got me... It took me out of it a little bit, because I was like... It's been a while, so I don't remember exactly what I didn't like, but there were several story beats near the end where I was just like, this villain is an idiot and makes no sense, and there's just no reason why he'd be doing what he's doing, especially because he keeps switching sides. Like, not in terms of becoming good or bad, but he says something in one cutscene like he means this, and then the next one he says completely opposite, and so on. And then just like when he dies, suddenly he sees the light and realizes the error of his ways because he got his ass kicked. He made zero sense. It was horribly written, but outside of the story itself, well, actually, the main villain himself, everything was pretty fantastic. Yeah, no, I'm not going to fight you over this, Terraria. I'm sorry. That bit made no sense. The ending just sucked. But everything else is fantastic, so I hope we can find some common ground here. Speaking of liking things, apparently I'm going... Well, I don't know if I'm going to like it, but apparently the part we're going to be playing today is pretty good. So I'm going to put my headphones so I can hear the game, because I'm looking forward to whatever is coming next. Now, last time there was a bit where Rodko went into frenzy, and I had to take him down. I disagreed a bit with that part, because there are so many other things you can do with a frenzied Garou besides just, ripping its heart out, because that's just, leave him alone for a minute and he'll be fine. But it's a thing that happened. So, all right, I was going inside there. And while all of that was happening, the Endron guy kidnapped our daughter, Edana. Apparently he's very, very happy to have his hands finally on the kinfolk, despite the fact that Pentex probably has them by the dozen locked up somewhere. So it's leading me to believe that maybe Edana's different in some way. But then again, in this game, apparently Fomori are not something that is known, because Kahal never saw one before. He was very surprised to see them happening. So obviously again, it's an adaptation, so they're switching things around. So I don't know really what to expect on that front. Maybe Pentex does not have a bunch of kinfolks kidnapped to use as blackmail or whatever against werewolves. I don't know. We're going to figure it out exactly why he's interested. After that, what happened is that the Cairn patron essentially said to everyone, go away. Only Kahal is going to be on the sept to defend it, which we did. We had a fight in the near Umbra for some reason. And which, by the way, I remembered later on, there is a gift that does essentially what happened. It's a gift, a level 5 gift, Silver Fang, that makes it so that Luna herself, so that is Celestial level, which is way, way above Ethan in terms of power level, she's going to take both characters that are fighting and put them in a pocket realm so they can fight it out, and whoever survives gets out. So that is not something that would be in the power level range of Ethan to do, especially since what he did is even bigger. He didn't create a pocket realm, which is relatively easy. He literally just transported them in the near Umbra, which you can't really do. But that happened. It's a thing that happened. We fought and survived. So we came back, and the totem is now saying, okay, well, there are drills. This is where we are now. Pentex put some drills out there, and you need to pumps. Actually, it's pumping nondescript worm-tainted thing in the ground. So we're gonna have to deal with that now before we trigger the next story beat. In the chat, wait, the guy you're talking about isn't the main villain, but okay, I don't care much for the villain you're talking about either. But I do like the basic ideas. Okay, yeah, no, if you don't mind, I won't. If only because it's been so long that I would not know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't be confident to have that conversation at this point. Fairly confident I'm talking about the main villain though, because that was the last fight, but it's fine. Let's just not go there. Okay, so we've got a couple of dudes. Kind of don't want to mess around here. I'm just gonna rage, smash this, let this guy blow up. Oh, I kind of wanted to take out the... Alright, this is the... Okay. Just trying to remember the controls again. Oh, that was not part of the plan. What I'm doing here, if it's not obvious, is I'm trying to get enough rage to use my new tech, my level 4 tech, on the mecha. There we go. And he's gonna blow up. Get the fuck out. Get the heck out. Ah, never mind. Just take your time. Blowing up werewolves never been an issue, right? Okay, not werewolf, but a mecha. Wait, where's even the drill? I didn't even turn the drill off. Okay, never mind. Apparently, the drill got destroyed in a fight. It was right at the end. It was weird. For those who don't know, Reshazin is referring to a song called "Cool Guys Don't Look at Explosions." Is it Lonely Island? I think it's Lonely Island. Even J.J. Abrams is actually in the clip of that song. It's been a mainstay running gag for a while. Am I just weird today? Yeah. Sorry. I'm just turned around a bit. Well, you see, that's why I didn't look at it. It was underwhelming. It's not because I'm cool. Okay, I guess I gotta go through the cairn to get to the explosion. Not the explosion, the drill. Still having problem navigating the cairn. I still love the design though. It's just... I assume if I was playing it constantly, I would be fine with it. But since I'm only playing 2 or 3 hours a week, I get turned around very easily. That would have been appropriate, I agree. Yeah, it's Maybe something we could think about doing. Start a meme about correct. What's his face? What is his face? Gosh, are you? No, I've already spoken to you. What is his face? Michael Bay. So, 2 mechas. Let's try to sneak. It's not gonna work because he's right there, but let's try anyway. Ah! No, on the mecha. Well. Mecha did take a couple of hits, that's fine. And it's gonna blow up, so overall I'm happy. Not gonna look at it. Not gonna look at it. I'm too cool for this shit. Alright. And the... Oh. Okay. The drill was again here. Or did I do that already? Yeah. No, I did that bit. We're not drilling anymore. We're just killing enemies. That's right. It's a new quest where Ifen just says there's the minions of the worm are back. Yeah, that's what this is. Yeah. He did definitely ruin Transformers and love too much the US military. Those are 2 facts that cannot be denied. I mean, in just almost anyone else's hands, Transformers could have been a good license. There's a lot of story there. Some of the series are actually really good and intelligent, deep and mature. Like, I'm not even kidding. I haven't watched a lot, but I've watched a few that were carefully selected by people who knew what they were talking about, and I had a lot of fun with them. So, you know, just get someone competent in there and you can get something really damn good. Servants of the worms are defeated.
By purging its servants, you have driven the last trace of the worm from this forest. I thank you, warrior of Gaia.
Oh shit, we got 4 points. Let's spend some of those. Unless, wait, let's just talk quickly to Ifen. Is there anything else? No. Okay. Okay, so we're done with the agile. We're done with the being able to regen and take a punch. Don't need that. Don't need that. Do not need that, because we're not really going to stealth no more. Eventually, maybe. Oh. Eventually, maybe. No, we purposefully removed that one. I think we spend rage too quickly. We're never really going to fill it out. So I'm okay with what we've got in general. Now, what I'm going to want to do eventually is start exploring the options of the heavy form, because I still feel like the health is going down way too quickly for my tastes. So I'm thinking something like this is something I want to do eventually. But first, let's see if we got something interesting under Frenzy. I feel like not a lot is interrupting it already, so we're good on that. Okay, this is gonna generate fury, which in theory means we can stay in frenzy longer. This is really good. Those are strong ones. When, oh wow, okay, this is just click to win essentially as a line. That's interesting. So okay, that sounds to be my first skill. Okay. We're not really going to use that. This one is kind of like Roar, but I assume more dangerous. Okay. So in order to stay alive, I think we're going to go with Frenzy, because Frenzy heals a lot. So I think this is the ones I'm going to go with for now, because in Frenzy, we heal and we stay there longer. So we're going to do that. I'm going to take those two. Sorry, I'm just going to read chat for a second. There's a big text there. Yes, completely agree. That's actually, that is, well, Eddie mentioned that in the, yeah, I listened to the cast too, and I'm 100% behind Eddie on that one. And knowing him, I 100% believe he would make a kick-ass RPG with Transformer. He's a huge fan of Transformers. He knows the lore quite a lot, and I would most likely buy that game day one, no hesitation, if Eddie ever did it. It's exactly the parts that are interesting to me. All the bits about how the situation eventually started on Cybertron. I believe this series was called Prime. I think it was called Transformers Prime. The first 2 seasons, it's still a kids show, to be perfectly fair, but for adults watching it, you can see in a lot of the dialogue and a lot of the innuendo that there is a lot of trauma and a lot of history going around. In its, some scenes are borderline hardcore. Like there's some fights that you can really feel with every punch how much some of these characters try to remain civil, but at the end of the day kind of really hate each other. There's a fight, I believe it's the climax of season 1, where Optimus just pretty much loses it in a fight against Megatron and goes all out, and you can feel that he's had enough. There's a lot of also of references to the time when Cybertron and his right-hand man, I forget his name, they used to be gladiators back then on Cybertron, and the way this experience shaped how they're leading this war and how they came to believe that might is right. So there's really a lot of psychological aspects in there that you wouldn't necessarily assume exists in Transformers, but in the hands of a good writer is totally there and really good. So yes, I would be 100% behind an RPG, well-made RPG, well-written RPG on Transformers, and Eddie's 100% a guy to do that. Oh, hey, no man, hi. Yeah. Probably the best and most concise. It is, I agree. We didn't actually finish the 3rd season though. For some reason, we suddenly kind of lost interest in the 3rd season. I don't know why. I can't really explain it. It was just like all of a sudden it had lost its bite, I guess. It just kind of became something else, and it wasn't as deep as before, I suppose. So we didn't finish it, but it was still pretty good. All right, so we got the two things we wanted mostly. This is too costly, so what I'm going to do from there on out is I'm going to go here. Next points are going into those two things here, so we can start experimenting with heavy. But for now, enough transformers and enough putting points and stuff. We're going to Nevada, where stuff is happening that I'm not even sure I remember, but we have to go to Nevada. I know that. If I remember correctly, that is where the CEO of Endron went with Edana, and there's another pack there who is fighting back against Endron. All right. Good to know I'm just not...
Ava, the pumps are done.
It's not just me.
Tell me you found 80.
They've taken her to one of their sites in Nevada, Viridian State Prison. That's where they...
I know. No time to lose. How do I get in?
Don't worry, I've already got a plan. Declan's stolen an Indran helicopter. Meet up with him and I'll give you the rundown en route.
Oh, that's it. Those animals were entirely too chill 5 feet away from a werewolf, but still. Viridian State Prison. After saving his cairn from Endron's clutches, Cahal picked up Edana's trail. The young woman has been taken to Viridian State Prison, a penitentiary financed by Endron that is located in the middle of the state of Nevada. Thanks to Ava's skills, Cahal assumes the identity of a wanted serial killer, the infamous Badland Butcher from South Dakota. Sure, that sounds like a good cover. And is taken to... Oh, we want to go in prison. And is taken to the prison, where Endron seems to be submitting inmates to... Oh, we're interesting. In the previous place, there were some elite guards that were sent to help, who got kind of turned into Fumarai. So now it looks like we're going to essentially infiltrate that operation, which does sound pretty good. Huh.
Cahal, Viridian State Prison is in Nevada. They've got a lab below the prison. That's where they're keeping Adana. The Nevada authorities have been hunting a serial killer for years. The Badlands Butcher. That's your new identity. I've entered your description into their database. Get yourself arrested. They'll throw you straight into Viridian State.
I got several legal questions about that, but sure, we're in prison.
Cahal, so you finally turned up. Been waiting for you for a couple days now.
I take it Ava put you in here? Good to have another man on the inside. How is she?
I don't know her too well, but it's clear all this is shaking her. She's putting everything she has into the search for your daughter. I think that's the only thing keeping her going.
I can relate.
Isn't that kind of the same question?
Who's in charge here, anyway?
Guy named Hadley. He's the one who gave you the sticky eyes when you walked in. An ex-con promoted all the way up to warden.
Oh, okay, I see.
He's an Endron man, through and through. Every bit as violent as his guards. Oh, and speaking of, most of the guards here are elite soldiers in training, and they're not big on warning shots.
So who's in charge refers to of the prison staff, whereas influential prisoners is, of course, on the
Some of the prisoners
criminal
have
side.
info. Those with influence.
The two most influential prisoners around here are Lon Shibetta and Seth. Seth. Shibetta's mafia, and he's still running his business from the inside.
I imagine he gets along well with the warden.
From what I hear, they're always trading favors. The other guy, Seth, he controls the drug trade around here. Might be worth a visit if you need a boost. You'll find him in the gym. He never leaves. Apparently he's sick or something.
Got it. You have a plan for getting out of here? I can't protect you while I'm looking for Adama.
Don't worry about me. Ava's got it all figured out.
Good. Now lead me to the Shibetta. I'll start with him.
I'm not looking for problems here, Butcher. One toe out of line, and you're dead.
That seems extreme.
That's your guy. Top of those stairs. If you need me after, I'll be in my cell.
Didn't I see also... Okay, the cameras are on the fritz for some reason. Yeah, there we go. Turrets. Like, just Pam. Turrets. Okay. Alright, let me just check quickly. Get something to increase rage. Talk to Seth. This is the main and this is the secondary. So I always do secondaries first.
Then I'm out of here. Out and paid. If you told me 2 months ago that getting locked up would be the best thing that's ever happened to my finances, I'd have called you a liar.
Just gonna try to get the conversations in case we get some bit of lore.
Butcher, they make you an offer yet? No?
Figured they'd pay a small fortune for a guy like you.
Okay. That was that. Trying to fight my urge to not... I'm trying to fight my urge to turn lupus and walk around because obviously that's my reflex by now. It's just like, well, it's a traversal form, but not here. Oh. I can enrage. Gonna try to do it the Hamid way.
What are you doing here? Fresh meat. The cord's occupied. Now, fuck off.
So you're the infamous Seth.
Oh, he's a nice person.
Say so.
I heard you sell stuff that you can't find anywhere else.
Where did you hear that?
The boss man himself, Lon Shibetta.
You're in with that greasy motherfucker. I knew. I didn't like your red fuckface.
Careful now, I'm not your enemy. Not yet. Either we talk business, or I'm out of here.
More new blood. Thinking they're hot shit. Fine. What you looking for?
Uppers.
I can do that. And how do you intend to pay?
That depends. What do you need?
You've just come through the gates and you think that you can give me something I don't have.
I'm the fucking Badlands Butcher. Name it.
Ah, so you're the butcher. I've heard of you. But I've also heard you died in your home state. Where was that again?
Shit. I was not paying attention about that. Does anyone in chat remember? I didn't think that would be important. If I... No, I can't have the description again if I click there. I think it was South Dakota, right? Am I still on? Yes, I'm still on. Anyone from this sept remember? Doesn't seem like it. No movement in this sept. Alright. I'm gonna get... Okay. Stenel can't remember neither. Okay. I think it's South Dakota. Let's try that.
South Dakota. And the rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. The rumors of yours won't be. fucking around.
Whoa, now, Butcher. I'm sorry, I didn't
Nice.
realize. Perhaps we can come to an agreement. I give you your fix, and if I got a problem with someone, you give me a hand. Not a bad deal, right?
I can work with that.
Perfect. I have my stuff stashed at the bleachers. Take whatever you like. Guys, open the door for him.
Okay. Oh. Oh. Sniff sniffs. That's my kind of drug. Anything else there? Yep. Nice. More than one sniff sniff. Oh, both work. Okay. Why not? Oh, notes. Offer of commutation of sentence. Sir, since your arrival at the Viridian State Prison, you have distinguished yourself by your exemplary behavior. By virtue of federal law, Andron offers you a commutation of your sentence in exchange for your participation in our reinsertion program. You will undergo tests required for your enrollment, and then you will join the ranks of the company's security service, where you will exercise the remainder of your sentence. A refusal on your part will be taken as a show of defiance towards the federal judicial authorities. Wow, I love this. So well worded. Okay, but I can't complete my quest because... Oh, okay, no, never mind. They gave me the points anyway. Okay, good. Silicon in there. Use your bottle and pick up more. Well, yeah, I suppose I could. Oh, it's... Why not? It'll be full. It's a good idea. That's a good idea. Come on, buddy. There we go. Then again, though, that may not have been the best plan, because now I'm filled with rage when I'm going to talk to the other guy. If he's being a jackass, I might frenzy. Too late. We're playing werewolf.
Program in a week. Then I'm out of here. Out and paid. If you
Yeah,
told me
we
2
heard
months
that
ago
part
being
before.
Locked up would be the best thing that's ever happened to my finances.
But yeah, that's a good question. As I said, I have several legal questions about how this worked out, like, instantly in a single day. But you know what? Not gonna go there.
You're Lon Shabeta.
In the flesh, and you're the notorious Badlands Butcher. Welcome to Viridian State, my friend.
Oh, well,
What
he's
do I owe
friendly.
The honor of your visit.
So I may not frenzy. Well, easy exchanging favors kind of deal. So I suppose offering him a deal would be the right way to go. It was a week. Well, okay, but still, I mean, your daughter is captured. Do you wait a week? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fine.
I know this prison has a lab where certain prisoners undergo treatment. I need to get in there. I'm told you can help me. Perhaps I can help you.
Could you now? I do know where this laboratory of yours is. I might be amenable to a deal. I'll give you what you want in exchange for a small favor.
What can I do for you?
You see, 2 of my men think that the time has come for me to retire. A man can't advance in this world without possessing certain values. Ambition is one, of course. So are prudence and loyalty.
I take it these 2 men were neither prudent nor loyal.
Catch him quick, I like that. The names are Neil Jordan and Eric Ross.
What can you tell me about Neil Jordan?
Neil has a job in the workshop during the day. Do be careful when you take care of him, though. He wants that place like hawks. That said, all sorts of accidents can happen in a workshop. All sorts.
Where can I find Eric Ross?
Eric's in quarantine. Most of the prisoners that get the Endron treatment usually spend a few days there afterwards. I hate to tell you, but unless you can find a way in, you'll have to wait until he comes out.
I don't have time to wait. Guess I'll have to get creative.
We'll definitely get creative, yes.
I'll take care of your men. But once it's done, I expect you to hold up your end of the bargain.
Hey, Lancibetta is a man of his word.
Okay.
You good? Lon tell you what you wanted to know?
Not yet. He's not the kind of man to give up anything for free. Wants me to take care of 2 of his men.
Who's getting the chop?
Name Neil Jordan ring any bells? He's got a job in the workshop. I need to take him out and somehow. Make it look like an accident.
Huh. You know, a few days ago, a guy wound up in the infirmary after a workshop accident. The machine he was working on overloaded. It was just a bit of extra voltage, but it gave the guy 3rd-degree burns. Maintenance fixed up the machine and everything's been okay since, but you know how finicky machines can be.
How do I unfix it?
There are some voltage controllers in the workshop. If you want to make sure this accident is fatal, you're going to want to put them all out of order.
Okay.
Apparently Eric Ross is in quarantine, so I need to get at him regardless.
Ross. Huh. I hear he reacted really badly to the treatment. Never stops asking for drugs. And that guy? He'll swallow anything you give him. Still, they don't exactly keep the poison within arm's reach around here. Check the infirmary upstairs. Something in there should do the trick.
That should be all I need. Thanks, Dusk.
If you need me again, you know where to find me.
All right. This, so far, I have to admit, is an interesting segment. Sniff, sniff. Oh. I can see them. That's the same text. Okay. Alright, but what I want is to go up.
That last batch of drugs.
I left everything on the table in the staff lounge. Seth wants us to send him everything before tomorrow, but the drug still needs some work. The dosage is too high. Right now, taking just 1 would put you 6 feet under. I've got to redo the dosages.
Well, there goes our chances of an on-time delivery.
Fine. That was stealth, right? No one heard that. I was sort of led to believe by the layout that there would be a way to sneak in over here to get there, but no, I had to go there instead, which, now that everything is destroyed, I have no idea how I was supposed to go there. It might have been possible, and that's actually one of my issues with the destructible layout of the game. Like, once everything is gone to shit, you can't just like take a step back and go like, okay, how was the correct way of doing this? Which from a level design, game design standpoint, I would enjoy doing, but I can't, because then everything is just destroyed. Yeah, I'm sure there was a way.
Slippery to dear old Ross.
Why did that glow? Why is this glowing? Clearly I can do something with it. President Watkins, tests carried out on the subject supplied by Major Grainer are inconclusive. The subject has a too high resistance to the compound 2G8. Questioning of the subject has allowed us to learn of a ritual called the First Change, not a ritual, among the werewolves. We stress the need to capture an individual that meets this condition in order to carry out new tests. Until then, Division 2 will continue their research on the compound 2G8 with the aim of creating elite soldiers.
Shit.
Wow. Thank you, Terraria. I never would have even considered that. Okay. Alright. Also, I don't mean to be very murdery, but there is no way, once these guys are, you know, are done freaking out. Never mind. It's okay. It's just, you know. Someone's gonna talk in a few minutes, is what I'm saying. They won't remember they saw Krynos, no, but, you know. They do. They do. That's why all I said is not a ritual, just so that if someone didn't know about it, they would have the correct information. But it's perfectly fine that Pentex doesn't know. They shouldn't know. That makes complete sense. I mean, it would not be off if they did know.
He should be getting some tomorrow. Unless he ends up in the infirmary. He's not looking so hot right now.
Okay, the game saves automatically. That's good to know. I mean, I already knew, but I was just thinking, this is getting to the point where there are things I'd want to just experiment with in terms of puzzle solutions. So normally this is the kind of place where I would, you know, save, try a couple of things, and if those don't work, then try other things, that kind of thing. But essentially, if I screw up and raise an alarm, that's it. I have to kill everyone. Or I suppose I could alternatively let myself die, which kind of goes against all of my instincts, to keep trying things. So maybe we'll do that. I don't know yet. Oh, we can go there. How?
He's not looking so hot right now.
All of these are locked. None of the computers can be used. And this only led to the other side. Replacing the BSD as the main Pentax shifter, they might think it's a ritual because it is one for the yarn. That's kind of fair. Okay, so clearly it's something I can do from elsewhere. Don't know if the Yaren will stick around though there. I mean, no offense to W20, but it's a good edition. It's just, it's kind of a, it's meant as a nostalgic edition. No one really expected it to bring new things to the fore. I'm glad they did. There's some excellent new material in the.
Sure the machine won't go haywire again?
I've double-checked everything, Neil. You're good to go. I even cut the main power supply and put it on a backup generator to be extra safe. It won't be hooked up again until after you're finished. Happy? Now shut up and get to work.
Jordan, won't be easy to take him out without being spotted. Dust told me I could overload the machine. First, open all those valves.
Yes. Trying to find out where they are. Yeah, so there's great new content in, especially in the W20 Book of the Worm, and to be honest, even some content that quite frankly should have been included in Books of the Worm way before, like things like worm cults are finally covered, which if you've read, oh shit, that was not the plan, not even a little bit. Fuck. If you read the Book of the Worm, not the Book of the Worm, the Chronicle of the Black Labyrinth. How am I supposed to go there? This guy's gonna see me and that guy too. Fine. It's gonna be a fight, isn't it? Okay. That's my target. I don't know what those other two things are. Are those valves as well? If they are, how am I supposed to get to them now? All right. One day I'll manage to sneak it again. I mean, they're all Pentax thugs, so I'm not feeling too bad, but most of them are samurai anyway. Oh, just shift on its own is just a dodging on this side. That's good to know, actually. Okay, that is not how I intended to take out the guy. That I could frenzy again. Okay. So I didn't mean to dish out on W20 again. It's a very good addition. It's perfectly fine. I just don't know how canonical it'll be considered when W5 comes around. So if you like the content for it, that's perfectly fine. I'm just thinking maybe don't get too attached. As for the Yeren being them before they were not, the mockery breeds are an entirely new thing. Personally, not a huge fan of them, but I mean, I would get mostly because they're very. They were never hinted at. They were something that just kind of came out of left field, essentially. Whereas the cults, for example, were things that really should have been there a long, long time ago and weren't. And that's the kind of content that I was looking for. W20 filling the gaps, essentially. So when it went in not just filling a gap, putting everything that used to be in one single spot, that's the goal of W20. And I saw it as a good opportunity to fill in the gaps. So when they created something entirely new, it was just not something that I was looking for at the time. So I wasn't really up for it. But it doesn't mean it's a bad addition. It's just not something that I felt was needed. However, I know, for example, for you, you started with W20, so it makes complete sense for you to see that as just normal content and be completely okay with it and liking it. It really lines up. It makes sense. Okay, now my issue here in terms of level design. First of all of this happened because I was exploring the grills, and this just made me fall right smack dab here, and then I was stuck there. So that was a problem. Next, this is clearly meant to be the last one you do, but I had to start with it. First of all, I had no way of getting into that one. I would have had to take a lot of time to explore and find the other vent here that comes from the main prison to get to it. Then I don't even know, even at this point now, and I have no way of getting back up there, I don't even know where the second one's supposed to be. So let's assume this was meant to be, I don't know where it is anymore, over there or some such. Anyway, there is one in that room, that's probably the first one. I don't know where the second one is, and third one, oh, second one was right there. How is anyone supposed to sneak the way the people were set up from there to here? Literally, one guy was looking over there and one guy was looking over there, so they're covering everything except here. And over there, everyone was looking at the wall. So I can see how getting to this one might have been possible. Right, so maybe once again, the problem here is that everything got destroyed. My assumption is that I was supposed to do the one that's in this room first. Then get out from up there, fall here because somehow I'm supposed to know there's a switch there. Flip the switch, use the box that were here to go back up there unseen because everyone was looking in that direction here, so that could have been probably possible. Go all the way there, fall the way I did, get the last switch, then wait for the guy to die and somehow leave. Not sure how I was supposed to leave though, but that sounds like it's something that might have been possible. So yeah, that didn't happen though. I was just discovered trying to figure out where things go. But anyway, the guy is dead, so that's fine. Hey, buddy. Hi. Don't mind me. I'm being absolutely not subtle. Not even a little bit subtle. Which is fine. It's just a bit sad because I think this is a segment that would be better played correctly. So at least if we're lucky, we're gonna get one of them correctly.
Thank God. I was at the end of my rope.
Oh, you're definitely at the end of your rope. absolutely at the end of your rope. Totally at the end of your rope. We're gonna witness your end live right now.
What's happening to me?
That does it for one target. Now for the other.
We've already did the other, buddy. Fast acting pill is fast acting. Interacts with saliva, I'm sure. Yep, yep, that's what it is. I'm having fun. I'm liking what they're trying to do here. It's, don't get me wrong, I appreciate it. I'm just... I was very unlucky in how I ended up falling in the room, just trying to figure out what was the correct way of doing it. But I appreciate what they tried to do, and I do like what they're doing here. It just unfortunately didn't work for me.
Sure, I recognize. No surprise there. Hunts, even Hadley. Been like that since Endron bought the prison.
And when I say it's not working for me, I'm not saying I'm not liking it. I'm just saying I had a bit of bad luck. So it just didn't play out, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It didn't play out that way for me, but... There's a spirit. Oh, okay. I see the mushrooms now. But yeah, no, I agree. For now, this is absolutely my favorite part of the game. It's much more immersive, much more based around, you know, having actual characters that feels like they have some background, a bit of depth. It's absolutely a notch above the rest of the game for sure. Cyanide works. Yeah, I can see how cyanide would be fast acting, but is cyanide a pill? Because the pill is coated, so you still need to get through the coating. If you just take cyanide as is, I don't know. I don't know enough to know. No, I agree with you, Stanil. I really preferred thinking of it as sheminage. Because even I think early on in the description, they kind of compared these as gifts, which they're not. So I like the fact that a lot of the XPs that I have, I made by doing quests for Ethan. That I really liked. The quests themselves could have, you know, there could have been a bit more work in there, but I did enjoy that it felt like sheminage to get access to some of the gifts. The fact that you get XP for wanton violence, that's something else, yeah. Let's, you know, we're gonna soak more. Let's try right away some of the skills. Okay. Did I go? Yeah. So I did the job, but don't go in these rooms. Just don't go in the rooms where they are. Here, yeah.
So, what news do you have for me, my friend?
Your two men are no longer a problem. Now, for your part.
Good. Better is a man of his word. Take this pass. It'll get you into Hadley's office via the infirmary. You'll find a secret passage into the lab from there. Best of luck, Butcher. I get the feeling this is farewell.
So do I, Lon. So do I.
I turned him down. Have you seen what happens to guys who agree? They're stronger, sure, but they're basically monsters.
Yes, they
I
are.
want to reconsider. Those who refuse don't survive for long afterwards.
I'm kind of sad though. I wanted to see the cutscene. Well, not the cutscene, but I wanted to see what happens if I'd managed to traffic the machine, and that's kind of what I meant. Like, this is absolutely a segment that I would have saved and reloaded to see what I did wrong. Yeah, I guess to try it differently, essentially, until it worked. Now, this to me feels like the infirmary, but I don't think it is. So I'm very confused about where exactly I'm supposed to go. I have a pass. I can't use it here. That where you got the pills. Okay. Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. They had pills, so that's the infirmary. Don't know why it's not, where the guy's being isolated and where all the hospital beds are, but I see that. I see what you mean. It makes sense. It even says medics. Yeah. No, that tracks. We have not been in there, but this is the objective, so we're gonna wait just a little bit. No, don't trust where the spirits are, so... Sniff it! Boom. Okay. Expecting maybe some text of some sort. That's probably a spirit, though. Here we go. Huh. Hello, big-ass knife. That faintly glows and therefore is a spirit. Wait, let's do this in Lupus, actually. Lupuses can see spirits from far away. Okay, so I missed a couple of spirits there, but that's okay. We've got plenty of points. I'm not concerned. Drink your... Oh! Okay. Okay. I will not ask questions and do exactly as instructed. If I'm going back down, though... Wait, they were under me. Let's do something else first. Because the spirits seemed like they were like somewhere over here. No, yes. Oh, even further. So I assume they're in the laboratory. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right. So chat is warning me that I need to be really, really ready for what sounds to like a big fight. So we're gonna go drink alcohol and get some more alcohol.
I turned him down. Have you seen what happens to the guys?
Oh, gotcha. Right. No, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. That's very good advice.
I'll be done with the program in a week. Then I'm out of here.
Out and paid. If you told me 2 months ago that getting locked up would be the best thing that's ever happened to my life, I'd have called you a liar.
All right. Let's do this.
This is Hadley's office.
Yes.
Let's see.
Sniffing across the universe. We already have a lot of points, so I'm gonna quickly spend them. Congratulations on your progress. Applying the program to the compatible subject is now a priority. Begin the preliminary program immediately. Update me directly as you progress. Prepare Division 2 for relocation. The second phase of the program cannot take place in your laboratories. We shall transfer the subject to a better adapted location ASAP. President R. Watkin. I mean, you're kind of assuming that she's been transferred, but okay. No, that was a good part. It was more narrative, a bit, than the rest of the game, which is a good thing. It's based on a role-playing game, so I expect, role-playing. So I'm glad they put some of it in there. Sort of wish more of the game was like that.
The laboratory. That's where they took Adana.
On the execution side, it felt like I suppose they could have forced it a bit more, because I don't feel like I was particularly careless.
4 and 7 are reacting badly to the treatment. Eric Ross and Seth Aguera.
So I noticed. It's something we see often with heavy users of psychoactive drugs. Their cellular structures are weakened even before the treatment. So when we inject the serum, the metamorphosis is quicker and notably more painful.
So for the pills thing, yes, I was a bit careless. I didn't see the correct path. I thought I had the right path. I didn't question it. So that was definitely on me. The second bit, though, I was being very careful. I was trying to see all the possible paths before deciding on where I was going. But I didn't get to do that because I fell in the stage. So on that one, I'm a bit... I'm thinking the execution could have been better, so that we could have had a chance to do this the way the game intends it to do, I guess. It's fine. We slaughtered everything. It's fine, but it feels a bit weird, because it's one thing if I'm infiltrating an Endron facility where the goal is to sabotage everything. It's another one where I'm entering into a prison with a cover. I don't expect to shift Krynos and kill everyone. I would have wanted a fully stealth approach. That's what felt narratively relevant at that point. Sorry. And it feels like the game could have enforced it a little bit more. For example, worst case scenario, autofail if you get caught. It makes sense to a certain degree. In that context, you need to be able to do these things, not rage out. It would have also shown some of the nuance of werewolf. They can't always just rage out. But here, yeah, things went sideways. Cool, don't worry. I'll just rage out, kill everyone, and no one's going to wonder why all of these guards were slaughtered. So that's weird. It's immersion breaking. Yeah. I'm not in favor usually of auto fails when you get caught and that kind of thing. So I'm not saying necessarily that's the best way to do it. I'm just saying the way it was done wasn't optimal. Yeah. Also, the pathways are getting a bit convoluted. I'm not seeing them at all right now in terms of where the game wants me to go so I don't get seen. And it happened last week as well. Every time I'm just trying to look at paths and figure out what the correct ways are without being seen, or even when I take out strategically placed people where no one's going to see them, they get seen anyway. So I'm having a bit of a hard time sneaking, I guess. Because I'm sometimes a bit careless, but not that much, and it just never works out. So, still, I'm having fun raging out now anyway. With all of these new options, raging is now pretty fun, so I'm okay with it. Just not in this section. In this section, I shouldn't have been able to do that, I feel. So yeah. Or at least there should have been some kind of consequence or a way to just try again, which I would have if I'd have had any save states. I guess I could have done restart. There probably is an option for that, but it's not clear where that would have restarted. Would I have had to redo the whole thing from the cutscene? I don't know. So for scenarios like that, save states are better because you can save just before taking a risk, and if it's the wrong risk, you're just like, oh, okay, I'll that was not the right path. For example, when I fell down, I would have immediately just reloaded, tried to look around a bit more, probably would have found the second switch and went, aha, okay. I would have also made the objectives more clear. For example, there were 3 or 4 objectives on the screen. One of them was a switch. I didn't see the other 2 for the other switches. Maybe they were there. I don't know. They were lost because there were 2 other objectives over there. So make it clear which objectives are your switches, which objectives are not switches. So that would have made me realize, oh, I can get to another switch if I sneak around from the prison side. I would have tried these kind of things, but right now I just couldn't figure out. I was still trying to puzzle out which objectives were the ones I'm trying to do now. So it could have been, for example, as simple as making it 2 separate quests and being able to track one quest, for example, being the guy in the work area, and then the guy in not stasis but in isolation. Can track one or the other, but not both at the same time. Which is fairly standard in games nowadays, having multiple objectives and choosing which one is being shown on screen. It's very easy to do, I would assume. To be honest, I'm not much of a coder, but I mean, it doesn't sound like it's particularly hard, but I could be wrong. I absolutely could be wrong. Point is, it's still very common nowadays. It's a feature that I expect games can have, and it's very useful from a design perspective, specifically for that kind of thing. So you don't have 23 different, well, okay, it was 6 objectives. We don't have 6 objectives at the same time on your screen, and effectively each and every single one of them are rendered useless because you have no clue what these do, what they represent. At this specific point in time, all I needed was 3 objectives, the 3 switches. That's all I needed to have. And because I had all of the other ones, I tried things pretty much randomly, and I paid the price for it. Obviously, some people, it went very differently. I'm assuming that Terraria managed to do it correctly. That's cool for you. And I assume a lot of people do it correctly as well. So it's not necessarily a bad design per se. It's just, it could have easily, not necessarily easily, but it could have been better. There were simple ways of making this flow better to ensure that it plays out the way that was intended. But yeah. Oh, see, even Terraria says he didn't get the switch. He messed up on that one. Okay, well, in that case, maybe most people do. I don't know. I was assuming that it was mostly on my part for messing that up, but I don't know. I would be curious to talk to people. If you're watching either live or on YouTube or whatever, and you actually got that right on the first time, why don't you reach out to me and just let me know? I would like to know if someone actually did it correctly. But yeah, there were ways that this could have been made to flow better and significantly increase the chances of people getting that part right. As it is, I would have to if there was a chapter select, maybe I would try it again or something like that just to see if it's possible. Right now, I feel like the position of the enemies in the room would make it extremely unlikely. But I can't know for sure. I would have to test it out, which I can't anymore because it saved over it. Now, text. The data collected during the first tests on the Tarka's male subject are positive. Sample XF60 is showing a simulation that was not happening with the previous subject. The subject is compatible with the compound. The preliminary program can begin. Send to division managers. Sample data something something.
I have to find her as soon as I can.
Okay. I do applaud what they tried to do, though. Can't go in there, can I? No. I appreciate, essentially, that they tried to give a more roleplay segment. Major Grainer. The first application of the operative augmentation program is now finished. In the coming weeks, you will receive contingents of soldiers having undergone this program in Division 2 laboratories. Share them out across all your divisions and return all field data collected by your scientific team. Sorry, just being poked again in the middle of my stream.
This is where those monsters were developed.
Yes, we know that. It's been established, my friend. Okay. So we have a vent there. We have another door there we haven't seen. Let's just see first, are there any spirits? Yes, there's a spirit right here. And another text. So let's start with that. Or not. Sorry, it seemed to glow like there was a text. We'll see. I got the pill poke. Right, no, the pill was oh, you mean the part where I messed up? Right, no, I got that from the way you were mentioning that there was a way. It's still though, good job on that one. I just didn't see the other grill. I think there were desks that was blocking my view. So I didn't even see there was another way to sneak over there. But good for you. That's great. I was really more interested specifically on the workshop section where I was supposed to sabotage the 3 switches. I wouldn't think there would be a high percentage of people who successfully did that part. The stabilized compound prisoner program given results. That's store. Yeah, I think that's new. Augmented soldiers type 1. The stabilized compound 2G8 injected into prisoners selected for the program has given positive results. A good number of subjects, when at death's door, develop mutations of various types linked to a variety of behaviors. Subjects whose vital functions have been damaged demonstrate an ability to produce a type 4 regeneration. Social behaviors of mutated subjects are still to be improved.
Motherfuckers.
Okay.
That girl who was here earlier. I just wish we would have had more time to study her.
Indeed. Her cellular structure was fascinating, wasn't it?
It's not a total loss. We've still got the other one. She's old and has already gone through her first change, but still, better than nothing.
Okay. Once again, kind of implying that Edana could shift if she wanted to. Or at least has a potential to shift, which she might. She's still relatively young. Augmented Soldiers Type 2. The tests of the application of the compound 2G8 on elite soldiers are positive. The subjects show the same characteristics as usual subjects, but to a greater degree. The power of the studied subject is evaluated to be equal to that of the mechanical power of an exo.
They have no limits.
They do not. Yes. I think they're more referring to those that I'm seeing now in game. Instead of, for example, the breeds. Oh, really? You're just gonna go straight up there? Fine. Oh, hello. Okay, let me just get out of there. Come on. Just trying to get up there, buddy. Stop smashing. Even done. Yeah, so, I mean, suppose I could have taken him down like here instead of over here, but I felt like this could be this was the safest location I could ever do that in, because I mean there were what would those be called in English? Paravents in French, but anyway, half walls, let's say, all around here, and I've definitely killed people in much more easy to see situations, and no one came to investigate, but now they did, and they just even jumped straight in there. So I think I'm failing that much at stealth because they keep changing the stealth AI. So I'm used to certain things being okay from the first time I played. And as Terraria says, they're doing a major overhaul. So now I have no idea what the rules are for stealth. It's not bad. It's just different. It's arguably better in the sense that it's realistic, which is definitely a good thing. However, I think it feels like it's going against the game's own design, because it's got all of these half walls there, all of these clearly defined paths that the game feels like it wants you to take. So there's a path through all of these enemies, and it worked. If you remember the first time I played, I was acing pretty much the stealth part because I was following what the level design was telling me. But since they're changing the rules of stealth, and now people are curious, and now they're seeing you kill a guy even though they're a level lower and there's a half wall there, and, you know, I'm crouched, now they're seeing you do all of these things, so it doesn't match the level design anymore. So I suppose I'm going to have to start thinking about stealth very differently from now on if I want it to be efficient. It's no longer going to have to be me trying to figure out the rooms as if they were puzzles. That's how I was approaching them before, because I don't think that's what it is anymore. Now I really need to stealth as I really would stealth in real life. It's paradigm shift. It's fine. It's a good shift. Should have been that way from the start, and the level design should have matched it, but it's fine. We're going to play differently is all. Okay. Screen. Yeah, that's a good name for them. Thank you, Stanel. There's a path down below. What do you mean? What do you mean is that a path down below? Oh, right. Okay. I thought you meant... Never mind. That's cool. I thought you meant the path was... You're supposed to go through them from down here. In which case, I mean... Maybe? But if they saw me up there, they would have seen me down there. I did for a bit, mostly because this was locked and I was trying to see where all the small grates were, and I couldn't see any other than that one. So I was just trying to see if there were other paths before taking the correct one. Just like I did here. She's obviously what I need to do, but I first checked out if there was something else here like this that I somehow missed despite looking for it. Oh, wow. Are we already? Yeah, we're already gonna get skills. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait. And we don't have enough points for this. I guess my next fight I'm gonna try heavy instead. Just gonna start playing around with it. Hello.
I picked up your scent from down the corridor. You're like me, aren't you?
Who are you?
Old, decrepit.
My name is Onawa. I am the pack leader of the Red Talons.
Okay.
And who are you?
Onawa, I've read Indran's reports about you. My name is Kahal.
Okay. A red talon wearing a sash, something to hide their breasts, that has tattoos, a knife, earrings. I mean, wearing bones I can see, because they do decorate, and they do tend to use bones to decorate. Mostly decorating for them, though, is more like a shrine or something like that. They would use natural things to do that. Rocks, stumps, that kind of thing. Themselves wearing some things, maybe a necklace, because, well, you know, they got fetishes too, right? So I can easily see the thing around her neck potentially be some kind of a fetish that she would wear all the time. But everything else, questionable in terms of red talons. There could be a red talon that is like that. I'm not saying it's never going to happen. I'm just saying, again, in terms of sharing lore, this is far from your typical red talon. And once again, in terms of representing a game, not for the first time per se, because there was Heart of the Forest before, but I would have assumed you're going to try to show tribes in a more representative way if you're going to be paving the way of werewolf games. We'll see. Daria says, it's all I expected of your reaction to her. The thing around her neck is a hint. It's a hint. Of what? We'll see. We'll get to know her. She looks pretty cool, though. It's just, quite frankly, at sight, I thought Uktena. Uktena where, you know, yeah. I mean, a particularly tribal Uktena, because a lot of them are modern. The Uktena are all around the world. They're even very active in Asia, in Tokyo, for example, dabbling into things that are more modern, scientific, businesses even, that kind of thing. But in America, a lot of them tend to be more down south and much more tribal, much more dabbling into dark magic. Tribal magic, and Bane farms, of course. So they can easily have that kind of a grim appearance. They would be into things like tattoos, and it's really not a stretch to see them wearing bones and sashes and that kind of thing. This would have been a bit out there, but on point for Uktena. As for Red Talon, not completely off. I can see it. Just way out there.
You must be the Garu Endrin's testing on.
How did you know that?
I've read Endrin's reports. Some of them in this very prison.
Testing is too kind a word. They were torturing me.
Any idea what they were trying to get at?
Not really. Something to do with the worm. But they didn't get the results they were hoping for. Why are you here? For the girl?
Adana? Have you seen her?
Adana's your daughter, is she? I met her. They had her locked up in the cell next door.
Had? What? Isn't she here?
Not anymore. Their tests on her bore fruit. They've taken her away to Endrin's headquarters. But I have no idea what they plan to do with her. Take me with you. All that awaits me here death. Good work. Now.
But I had other questions. Okay, let's just go to chat first. Dark magic is actually only one camp. One of them a big camp, but just a camp. I'm talking in general terms. I don't tend to delve into camps specifically. Oh, really? She's the voice actor from the intro. Did not notice. Then again, that was a long time ago for me, but well, probably for you too. Never mind. No, I did not realize.
This door leads into an underground parking garage. Steal a truck. We'll need one to get to my can. There are guards. For Mori. I can feel it. And I am in no state to help you. You've got to do it.
Yeah, that's why I stopped mid-sentence. I was not making any sense. Okay, so let's try this again. We're gonna have to move only when absolutely no one is watching. So like something like now. Gonna wait until that guy turns around completely. Which he doesn't really seem to do. Wow, let's risk it. See, that worked. I did that from, you know, a completely different level and it didn't work, but that it did. Okay, let's wait for the scientist to move away. Move away, buddy. Move away. Come on, I believe in you. Okay, we're gonna sabotage this. At least get something going on our end. We can... I don't see what much more we could do here. Probably we can take out the guy there if he turns around. There we go. I don't care anymore, so I can do that. And you I can't stealth kill, so this is what I'm gonna do instead. Hey. Dude! Why aren't you doing the thing? Wait. Is this the button? Okay, I'm in heavy now. So I should regenerate slowly. Okay, I can't stop him from... This is my throwing shit. This is me slashing. Oh. So it's essentially my big attack while I'm in frenzy. But I can do it at will. And it's pretty strong. Oh. Okay, rage, not rage, but heavy is getting somewhere now. Come on, explode. There you go. Okay. Rage does not go up quickly enough in heavy. for me to be able to use my skills frequently enough. I think I had some upgrades in Agile for that to go up. So next time we spend XP, we're going to see if there are any ways for us to get more rage faster. Ha. But that was not bad. The skill on the button 3 was not bad. Oh, I see. You got there. Okay. So I think what Tur is saying essentially is that it was as long ago for him than it was for me seeing the introduction of the game, but he did it in one setting, in one sitting. So the time when he saw the introduction and the time where he spoke to this lady was super short, just a couple of hours. Hence why you could recognize it. That makes complete sense. Okay, let's go to her cairn. And that is, if I understand correctly, going to be a red talon cairn. So I'm prepared to disagree with everything I see. Cahal got there too late. Endron had time to administer their treatment to Adana before taking her elsewhere. However, while escaping, the Fianna warrior came upon one of his own kind, Olnawa, the leader of a pack of Red Talons. Also, Red Talons don't usually take names. They might, but it's... Okay, that's going to be difficult to explain. Wolves have names, but there are names that essentially are concepts. They represent who they are as a person, what they smell like, how they move, how they behave. They're very close to deed names in a certain way, but they don't necessarily reflect things they did more than they reflect their very soul. And they're just going to use that because that's their name. That's who they are. And it easily translates to the Garuton. So having a red talon called Onawa, which sounds like it's a native term, could be a name that was given to her maybe by someone. We're pretty far from Wendigo territory. We're much closer to Middle Brother's territory, except Middle Brother got, destroyed a couple hundred years ago. So not sure how it tracks that she got a native sounding name. It could happen. What are you talking about? I adore red talons. Yeah. Middle brother got middle brother. Yes, indeed. No, I absolutely love red talons. It's one of my favorite tribes. I don't know how or what I said that gave you a different impression. They're not well represented ever. Hence why I expect to hate what I'm going to see, because I'm pretty sure it's not going to be representative of red talons, because nothing ever is. Because people always just want to take the red talons and do the Hamid red talon, or do the thing that completely breaks the mold of the red talon. But the red talons are pretty cool on their own. Pretty damn cool on their own. It's fine to just do them as they are now and again. Good point. Right. Good point. Well, and as I said before, they're all over the world too, so it's a good point. Yeah, no, it's a good point. It could be given by Uktena. True. I was thinking too narrowly on that one. No, I really like the Red Talons. Once again, one of my favorite tribes and one of the best tribe books in my opinion. They're extremely misunderstood and usually reduced to just being murderers, which is very far from the truth. I will go on camps for a second because I usually don't, but I'm going to go there quickly. the 4 camps of Red Talon each essentially represent different positions on their how they see humans and how they interact with them. One of them is just outright murder, and that's a camp that is not well perceived by the other Red Talons because they're just freaking psychos and they go way too far. They have rights that are just evil, even from the other Red Talons' perspective. There are rights that are not good for Gaia, or not good for anything or anyone, and they're probably very much worm-tainted. They would be the Red Talons' equivalent of the Cyber Dogs for the Glasswalkers. Then you've got the camp that wants to kill them, however realizes that it's just not possible. So they'll take opportunities when they can. Once again, it's not about murder. It's not even about vengeance. It's just about humans are destroying the world, so someone's got to do something to stop them. And then you've got the camp that sees the problem and wants to find a workable solution. Like, they realize that it's a complex problem and it is not something that can be solved with teeth and claws, and they're going to try and find other ways of doing things. They still think that humans are a problem. There needs to be a way to stop them from being a problem, yes, but they're not gonna slaughter villages or kill someone just because they found them in the woods. That's the camp that realizes doing that just brings attention to the Red Talon, brings attention to the forest, and that's just not something they want. They're a camp that will actually try to think things in advance, plan things through, and actually try to be intelligent about it. And the other camp are the camp that thinks that humanity can be saved, that humanity have redeeming qualities. They're the kind of Red Talon that might even protect or watch over humans and want to find some kind of middle ground with them. And the interesting part is that they're actually a secret camp. So there are members of that camp in all of the other 3 camps. They're just not going to say it. So we've got 3 layers of camps who want to solve the human problems. Only 2 of them think killing them is a solution, and across all 3 of them, a significant portion of those secretly think, but don't want to say it out loud, because they think they're going to be in danger if they speak out loud about it. But they actually think that humans are not that bad of a thing, and, you know, some of them are cool and give you food, right? Just like our landlord in the game we were playing with Terraria. So at the end of the day, if you consider that the camp who is trying to find an intelligent solution is the biggest camp of them all, dwarfing the other 4 quite a bit, mathematically speaking, you've got more than 60% of the entire population of Red Talons who don't murder humans. They just don't. Sure, you've got a significant chunk, a 40%, who do. Out of that chunk, a significant portion are just evil, and all of the other, let's say, 80% of the Red Talons think they're completely wrong. So let's put that into perspective for a minute and reconsider the concept of murderous Red Talons. At the end of the day, most of them don't, because it's just not a good plan. The Bad Can, I'm not sure. I have not read them in a long while. I would not be surprised, though. They're extremists and they're bad. So that would make complete sense that they would refuse to work with Hamid Guru. That would make sense. And I would also urge people to, again, read the revised Red Talon tribe book, it gives a lot of perspective as to why the Red Talons don't like humans. And a lot of it is spiritual. A lot of it is just because we keep destroying their lands. We keep destroying where they live, and all they see when they watch us going are things like exactly what's on the screen right now. Things like this hurt Gaia, and we're obsessed about things like this. We drill oil everywhere, and they're a very spiritual tribe because they're all lupus. They all start with 5 noses. They can hear the screams of Mother Earth whenever we install shit like this all over the world. So yeah, they think we're bad. They just see the consequences of what we do, and they can't do anything to stop it. So yeah, of course they think we're a problem. Of course they do. Doesn't mean they're all about murdering us. Less than 40% of it are. Okay, back to the game. Again, once I said, I'm prepared to not like what I'm going to see, because once again, the Red Talons are either always and only defined in relation to how they want to kill everyone, which is, as I've just demonstrated, not even true, or they are taken away from their origins as lupus and humanized in ways that they don't do. Not to say they never humanize. I'm just saying they're in denial about it. In the Red Talon book, there's an interesting section, or actually not really a section, it's something they keep going back to, the notion of the wolf heart and the human mind. And between themselves, they will admit to having a human level intellect. They will admit to having a human mind. They're able to have complex thought and all of that kind of thing. They just fear it almost. They're not, they see where humans have gone with that intellect and that logic and all the ravages they've done. You don't trust that too much. They tend to willingly try to remain closer to their wolf heart. But that doesn't mean they don't have a human intellect or that they can't embrace it. It's just usually they don't think it's a good idea. They can, they just kind of don't. So it's something that they will do maybe on their own, something they would maybe experiment when they're alone, when other Garou are not with there. Maybe some Red Talon would sneak into town just to study humankind, try to see, are they really that bad, for example? And they might pick up a trick or two. But they're never going to show that. They never will. If they come back to their sept or their pack with the other Red Talons and they go like, hey, I tried that thing. It was called, what was it again? The internet. It's not going to fly. It's just not going to fly. So when they're represented wearing clothes or driving a car or all of these other things that they're always represented at, it's not that they're impossible. It's just that they should be carefully implemented, carefully displayed, and pretty much only shown with people they trust. Because it's something that would be very taboo, I guess, within the Red Talons. Like, even admitting they have the human mind, they just talk about that within themselves. Anyone outside of the tribe, they're gonna show the lupus front. Like, no, I'm just a wolf, and no, humans are bad. They might not really believe that, but that's the front they're gonna give. So anyway, we'll see what they do here. I'm just saying, if I'm seeing a cairn that has technology in it, or explosives, or cars, or some such, I'm not going to be surprised. That's usually how they tend to be represented, once again, but it's not how they are. We'll see. Like, for example, I was not surprised that the Red Talon we saw stayed in Hamid for no reason. She could have been Lupus. She wasn't protecting the Veil. Everyone knows about werewolves there. Could have been Lupus. Should have been Lupus. And yet, nope. Was Hamid. It's like, even outside of the Red Talons, most Lupus tend to prefer Lupus. Hamids tend to experiment across all 5 shapes and find whichever one is most strategic. Lupus tend to find the other shapes weaker and have lesser senses. They're not comfortable in the other shapes because they don't have access to the full range of their senses, and that's just very weird for them. And Red Talons are just twice that. So.
Tell me.
Okay. Hello.
Is that so? Carl, what are those outsiders doing in my territory?
What outsiders?
It's not just Endrin spreading across my territory. We have been invaded.
Ava and her Lambda mankind. I know them.
The Red Talons do not like humans. And there is only room for one pack here.
Not gonna go there.
The humans are with us. They're fighting for Gaia.
Humans are the reason we need to fight for Gaia. We should have snuffed them out at the dawn of their existence.
These humans are on our side. And we have no intention of settling here.
Should have led with that.
We'll leave as soon as we've managed to rescue my daughter from Endrin HQ.
So, you intend to fight Endrin?
We could use your help.
No. We have already lost too many. We will not join you. However, I will clear your path. My wolves tell me they have already attacked your people. Those attacks will end. You may operate on our land with impunity. At least, until you finish your business here. Stay longer, and there will be war. Go now, and pay your respects to our guardian spirit. Parchua tells me that he is waiting for you.
That I did like. Because Red Talons, contrary to popular belief, are not entirely incapable of being reasonable. But they do have, you know, firm positions. Do your thing and leave, or we're gonna be at war. But yes, go ahead, do your thing. That was pretty spot on, actually. Okay, let's see the cairn itself. Yeah, so the walls there, not something they would do. Again, they just do like that. Like, this is a decent... Well, it's already too elaborated. They wouldn't use rope or anything like that. But the shrines the Red Talons do are usually just, you know, bones and entirely natural things. So outside of the wall there, I'm not...
There's still much work to be done. Stay vigilant, lest the worm overwhelm you.
Sure, cool, thanks. But outside of that, it's really not bad. It's just a very natural spot. Wait, let's loop this here. I just want to see. Okay, so I can't go there yet. All right, that's fine. I guess that's the Cairn Heart. So that's where I'm going to speak to Ethan. Usually the Cairn Heart is where you, not Ethan, but Pachua or some such. The Cairn Heart tends to be where you commune with the totem spirit of a Cairn. So I guess the other spot in the other cairn was also the Cairn Heart. The thing is, if you remember from Heart of the Forest, there was a lot of description about having a particular feeling when you're near the Heart of the Forest. That feeling, the Heart of the Cairn, that feeling should be all around the cairn, and it'd be especially strong in the heart. And the heart should be a very pure place and extremely close to the Umbra. Like you can sidestep without even rolling for it. You just have to want to be on the other side, and it happens. So it's not bad representations per se that they're doing in these games, because at least they're making it a little bit special. They stand out a little bit. However, I would expect lines between realities to be blurred, like not necessarily have all of these weird blurry effect that is constant here, but at least something that is reminiscent of them, just to let you know that there's no gauntlet here. That would have been that would have sold it even more. So about the Garu language, again, in terms of sharing the lore, that's Terraria is saying it, I think, ironically, because it's an instinctive language. You can't not know it from the moment of your first change. So that is a very good point, that he wouldn't have needed translation from the conversation she just had with the other members of her pack, unless they're actual wolves, kinfolks, part of her pack, which appears to be a thing in this game. Which I'm not against, actually. It's not canonical, but I'm absolutely not against, and I really hope W5 goes in that direction. I'm very okay with having kinfolk more active and take actual roles in packs and in sets. So that's fine by me. And if it had been an actual wolf, editions go all over the place in terms of whether or not werewolves can speak to wolves. But all in all, not so much. They can communicate to the extent that you can communicate to your dog, for example. A lupus in lupus form will be able to communicate through body language the same way two wolves can just communicate with them. It doesn't mean they're actually using a tongue or a language. So a Hamid who spends time in lupus can eventually get enough primal urge that can achieve the same effect. Using complex dialogue, like saying, oh yeah, there are humans in our land, they're called the Lambda something something, and we've already did some attack on them, are not the kind of information wolves can communicate to each other, and neither can they do towards a werewolf, unless they have a gift. It is a Galliard gift that you can use to have conversations with any animals, and that would include wolves. Yeah, well, we spoke last time about this size of... okay, yeah, they're way bigger than me. Yeah, good point. But wasn't Rafik that big too, and we're not sure that Rafik is lupus or not? Yeah. 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 And they're painted up. Which, by the way, is a thing that Red Talons do. That is usually the extent of how much they would decorate themselves. So yeah, really liking the design of those Red Talons, actually. Very spot on. Yeah, so the implication being that they were definitely speaking to Garutong, and Kahal should be able to understand them. And there's no reason for her to stay in Hamid to talk. They don't need to do that. So let's talk to the patron spirit.
You are the one who freed Onama.
That's a pretty cool design.
Reek of human, warrior of Gaia. For what purpose do you enter my territory?
I mean, both? But I mean, red talons and protecting cubs, children, that sort of thing, it's a thing too. It's actually one of the reasons why the red talons in Europe, some red talons in Europe, I think it's in France, are kind of at war with some children of Gaia, because there's the place where the red talons are mostly dominant and have been scaring humans there. Once again, they're not just outright murdering. That's not something the red talons actually do, aside from one or two comic books out there that just show them doing it for fun. But they will absolutely mess with them and scare them just to make sure that they stay out of their territory and things like that. And there's a village over there that has started sacrificing their children to the red talons out of fear, and just hoping the red talons will leave them alone because of that. And the red talons are just, they did not react well to that, because for them it was just one more proof that humans were not natural and just evil. Because what's the last thing a person would do? Kill their own cubs. Not completely true. There are many examples in nature of adults killing their cubs, but it's still usually not something that most do, unless it's a male trying to take over a pack, or which is something that happens a lot among lions, for example. Less with wolves, who really do tend to be very protective of their cubs. I'm just saying, yes, it happens in nature, but from the perspective of wolves, that's just a horrible thing. And so the red talons were just horrified by that and went on the offensive, which nearby children of Gaia heard about and just stepped in to protect those humans. So all of that just to say that if I say I'm here to protect my daughter, it's something that should reflect well with red talons. Then again, I'm talking to the patron here, not the red talons themselves, so a fight for Gaia is probably a better option.
I'm fighting for Gaia, to drive Endrin and the worm from this territory.
Is that so? Or are you pursuing an aim that is more personal? Are you truly worthy of my confidence? Can you even still call yourself warrior of Gaia?
Why wouldn't I?
And now, you fight beside humans, beside the enemy.
Not all humans are servants of the worm.
But all are blind. They will never understand the wild or the worm. They try to apply the order of the Weaver to everything, Gaia included. They will never admit that Gaia is a wild, uncontrollable entity, and that she demands sacrifice.
Yeah, no, the spirit is amazing. I really like him. It's just, there's a nuance here that isn't really showing through, and I'm actually thinking about it as well as I'm going through. But when you create a cairn, you have no control on which patron is going to show up to take over. Not take over, but to bond with it, essentially. So there's no guarantee your patron is going to share your beliefs, for example. So here, the fact that this particular spirit has an extremely narrowly red talon point of view is... It could happen, but it's really not a guarantee. So I'm thinking maybe they're confusing the Karen for the pack, or the pack for the tribe again, or the sept for the pack and the tribe, and all of that is being, you know, kind of melded together here like it was on the other place. So just because the locals are red talon, here the patron is being like, yeah, sacrifice humans. That's just not a guarantee. Which is interesting to me, because at the end of the day, the only patron I know that is particularly against humans is Griffin himself. So I was kind of thinking in my brain, like, what do Red Talons do when they end up starting a cairn and the spirit that shows up likes humans, or really isn't against them at all? Because Griffin is... There's no guarantee a spirit in the brood of Griffin's going to show up just because you're a bunch of Red Talons building a sept. In either case, this is definitely not a creature that's, you know, part of Griffin's brood. Because they're pretty much doing whatever they want with the spirits in this game, which is, once again, it's fine, I guess. I'm just saying, what are the odds here? Not that big. So yeah, no, exactly, Gaia, that you're thinking of the wild. Yeah, for sure. I mean, she does have very wildish aspects, like the dragon, for example, we mentioned earlier last week, who travels around in the flux, which is literally the wild's realm. So while he's not wrong per se, he's definitely not right. He's having a very narrow definition of Gaia in the terms of wild uncontrollable. Once again, Gaia is nature and wild is not nature. Those are things we need to differentiate, but saying that Gaia is wild and uncontrollable, true. One version of her. Just like you can't say the sun is a warrior. Katanka Sunak is an aspect of the sun that's a warrior. The other aspects of the sun, like Helios, are completely different and aren't necessarily warriors. Same thing with Gaia. One aspect of Gaia is wild and uncontrollable entity. Only 4 Red Talons left. Yeah, that would be a jump. There's not a lot of Red Talons though. They're one of these, if I remember correctly, they're one of the smallest tribe. So probably around, because one of the biggest tribes are in the hundreds, like low hundreds, like 120 or some such. So Red Talons would probably be at best in the 50s worldwide. So yeah, we're not that far from the 4. I was actually thinking about that. If it's a thing that could happen, having a Red Talon sept where a Spirit of Cockroach shows up, and I think that would be a stupidly interesting concept to explore. Like, I would play that game so much, or at least play with that concept so much as a sept I would make in a game at some point. The issue that I'm having is that there's a book or two I would like to read first. Before I say it's possible. Because you don't have some control, but the totem still needs to be compatible with the sept. So I would want to reread a little bit just to see if it would be possible to go to that much of an extreme, just in terms of... I guess the real question isn't really who's starting it, but where they're starting it. If they were, for example, to, for some reason, start a sept in the middle of a city, or a city that fell, even if it's in ruins or something, would that be enough to have a spirit of cockroach tied to, I don't know, maybe a concept of not renewal, but maybe rebuilding or something, revamping or something like that. A spirit tied to that idea could be under Cockroach's brood and respond when the Red Talons are building their sept. Yeah, I think that could work. Especially if it's a place that is very much tied to technology. So, like, for example, maybe in, what was the place that blew up in Russia? The power plant, the nuclear power plant, for example, that blew up. If there was to be a sept of Red Talons over there, for example, in the town itself, yeah, I could easily see them doing that, reclaiming the place or things like that, and having a spirit of cockroach show up for sure. The town is pretty much habitable now, though. People are living there. Well, not living, but I saw a documentary on that recently. People do come in and out. It's more or less safe now. There are people who are working in the plant nowadays. They just don't stay very long, like a couple of days or hours, I don't remember, and then they just leave, and they just have to be very careful not to spend too much time there. But you can go back there. So nowadays, maybe Red Talons wouldn't necessarily want to set up shop there, but let's say you're going back a decade or so before it was easily habitable again. Maybe they would have wanted to cleanse the place. I could see that being a thing. Chernobyl, yes, absolutely. I could absolutely see that. Wendigo stated as the smallest. Could be. I could see that happen. No, the Keeper of the Land does not need to be compatible with the totem. In the sense that whatever totem shows up. The Keeper of the Land will have to deal with it. But whoever is Keeper of the Land is not going to have an influence on who shows up. But yeah, for sure. He would... If he can't deal with the totem, there's going to be problems. That's true. Might have opened the cairn. What do you mean, Stanel? They wouldn't have opened the cairn. Right, they would have just shown up to a cairn that is already there. Well, yeah, yes and no. Depends how soon after the explosion. For example, remember that for every month you don't do the rite, the cairn shrinks, right? So if it's a really big cairn, a rank 5 cairn, in 5 months, it's no longer a cairn and it needs to be opened up again. So if the radiation prevented them from setting up shop within 5 months after the explosion, for example, then they couldn't have just reclaimed it. They would have to reopen it and a new spirit would show up. But yeah, but if they just... Because I don't know if a couple of months after it would have been safe enough for them to just claim it. But let's say yes. Let's say they have a gift. Let's say they found a way to make it happen in one way or another. Let's say they're resisting it. Just because they're Garou, why not? Maybe they can. Actually, it would be something extremely wormish, so I'm not sure I would necessarily allow that they'd be able to live there a couple of months after explosion, but theoretically, if they just took the place. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Outside of Chernobyl, any place they just happen to take over, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's say they raided literally a glass walker place for some reason, and they took over, something that might happen. They would still have to take care of the cairn, because thou shalt take no action that causes a cairn to be violated. So yeah, they would at that point, yeah, that's the easiest solution for sure. They would have to deal with the fact that the totem is Weaver aspected, and they can't go against that. They would have to take care of it, and they would have to try and please the spirits there. Yeah, for sure. That's a very, very interesting concept. wouldn't even have to be something they invaded. Like, if just something went horribly wrong and the Glasswalkers were destroyed for some reason, and the nearest pack is a bunch of Red Talons, they could just sit there to protect the place. Yeah. Yeah, that works too, for sure. That yeah. Absolutely. I guess what we're all saying at the end of the day is, would it be interesting to have a sept of a particular tribe stuck on a cairn whose totem is incompatible with their viewpoint, and them having to learn to deal with that? Yes, I think that's a great concept that, now that I think about it, I'm kind of sad I never explored. I probably will in my next game. Okay, so here, I mean, he's being dark for sure, but it's not something I wouldn't expect certain spirits to say, so I'm not going to say he's full of darkness. I will say he's wrong, though.
I will prove to you that humans can accomplish great things for God.
You will only prove that you are as blind as they are.
And you can't see that the worm is already here, and that the humans that are with me have nothing to do with it.
Such impertinence. The presence of the worm is not a concern. I have battled it time and time again.
Yet
That
it still
is,
spreads everywhere around you. Only your cairn seems to remain untouched.
Our cairn is all that matters. And we are ready to make what sacrifices we must to maintain it. Onawa has taken that role upon herself. But she may not be the last. Now go. Pursue your quest. I shall judge your worth.
Anything else to say before I leave?
What is it?
Oh, she's the one who... Okay.
I've heard stories about the Red Talons and their closeness to nature. Most of them...
All of them.
Not humans, but you.
I was born Uktena.
Boom.
The Red Talons took me in when I was just a girl. I grew up amongst them and formed a unique bond with Pachua, our guardian spirit.
Okay.
He and I share a bond like nothing you would imagine.
I retract everything I said. This works. This totally works. Yes. They Griffin would not accept a Hamid in... Wait, no, she is Red Talon. She isn't Uktena. She was born in the Uktena. Yeah, okay, no, that part doesn't work. Griffin does not accept Hamids at all. You can't be Hamid and Red Talon. But the part about growing up with them could happen. They don't just kill humans all the time. They even help sometimes. There are some canonical examples of Red Talons protecting humans and such as that. And if she grew up with them, if they found her as a young child, for example, they totally would take her in. So that's a thing I believe. What I don't believe is that she has been accepted by Griffin. Griffin just doesn't do that. But it explains her look. It explains why she's sticking around in Hamid. She is Hamid. It explains pretty much everything about her, and I'm okay with her, outside of her being actually Red Talon. Right. No, that's fair. That's perfectly fair. Thanks for not spoiling it. But no, I'm okay with the character now. Now that I know she's actually Uktena. My headcanon is that she's Uktena just as a tribe, not Red Talon. But it's fine. So we're not going to reset, but we will get the side quests.
The worm is spreading through your territory. Is there nothing you can do?
If I let my wolves leave the cairn, they'll attack your people. I assume you would rather we avoid that.
Yes.
You, however, there are numerous shrines to Pachua in the area around the cairn. They have gone abandoned for far too long. Find these shrines. Pay homage to Pachua. Give him your strength, and he will take care of the worm.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay. So once again, looking for a bunch of stuff hidden around that I have no way of knowing where they are. Okay. No, I agree she looks Uktena, but I thought she presented herself as... Let's try again.
What is it?
Find out more.
I've heard stories about the Red Talons and their closeness to nature. Most of them are born as wolves, not humans, but you.
I was born Uktena. The Red
Yeah, it's
Talons
unclear.
took me.
She might be Uktena for sure, yeah.
Amongst them here.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with she's Uktena. I forgot there were other things to discuss though, so let's use them.
How did Endrin capture?
We've been locked in battle for a long time, trying to drive Endrin from Red Talon lands. But they were too powerful. I saw my people dying, one by one, until one evening, Endrin sent us a message. They told me that if I gave myself up, they would leave the Red
Sure.
Talons alone.
Sure they will.
And you saw where that led.
As for the necklace, I'm not sure what it's a hint of, because it reminds me a lot of the totem, the local totem, so I'm not seeing as much of a hint as being Uktena. The earrings and, you know, all of the looking very tribal is for sure. The necklace is the one part that I could see a Red Talon wear. Sure, looks like a snake, but kind of also the spirit seemed like a very long snake with bird parts, so it could be. Because Uktena is a water snake / dragon spirit, so I see the resemblance. I can't necessarily jump to the conclusion that it's definitely Uktena reference.
Yes, Pachua. He is our guardian spirit.
He seems to be dangerous. More dangerous than the guardian spirit of my own cairn.
Good. To survive out here takes more than optimism. The strong kill the weak. Pachua is a guardian spirit who accompanies his subjects into battle. He has seen more combat than you could if you lived 100 lifetimes. He granted me his protection, and we forged a unique spiritual bond. One like nothing you will ever know.
No, I know he's a snake. I absolutely know he's a snake. Don't worry about that part. I'm just, once again, seeing this as more as a reference to Pachua, who is also, like, he starts there and then just flips around and finishes there. My understanding is that she keeps talking about a bond, and I'm thinking her necklace is a representation of that bond, probably a kind of fetish. So once again, I don't... I mean, it could be a reference to Uktena for sure. Yes, it could.
I can feel the hate that flows through her. And her guardian spirit.
Ava.
I just think there are more than one way of seeing it.
There you are. Head to our base. We've set it up near the road leading to Indran territory.
Could be. Could be. If she's not part of the pack. I didn't mean to say it that it was necessarily that.
Protected us from the worm, but they have abandoned us. We are in danger.
The spirits are suffering. How can Onawa stand by and do nothing?
That's a damn good point. Because even the bit where the shrines have been left far too long, I'm like, okay, but don't you have a keeper of the land? Why is this now my job? But yeah, I think so too. But Terraria has a point. It could be her personal totem as well.
And our strength returning.
That would make a certain amount of sense. Not if she's part of the pack, because you can't have both. You can only have one totem at a time. But the way she is describing her bond to Pachua kind of does feel like a patron, yeah. Oh boy. So back to walking around in a confusing place with no reference as to what we're looking for. Whole bunch of spirits there that are not what I'm looking for.
You must drive the worm from these lands, warrior of Gaia. It is killing us one by one.
Oh, I think this is one of them. Could that be one of them? No, it's a spirit again, isn't it? Yeah. Dang it.
The worm has hold of everything around us. The fight must continue.
I semi-agree with that last sentiment, if only because so far there's been zero references to any of the tribal patrons. Not that I can remember anyway, so... Onawa's memoirs. Today, again, I thank Gaia for having made me Thurge by birth. Without the spiritual aptitudes inherited from my ancestors, I would have been unable to bond with the guardian spirit of the Red Talons. They would have killed me. Over the years, my Thurge heritage allowed me to strengthen this bond. Today, I am almost as one with Pachua. He feels what I feel. Words are no longer necessary between us, nor for that matter with the Red Talons. They instinctively understand what I want.
She's no ordinary pack leader.
So they're in a pack. Kind of aligns with the other place. It feels like they're merging together Pack, Sept, Karen, and all of that together. Like, he's not her personal totem. He's the totem of the pack and the Sept at the same time. And they have a particular bond. That's actually something that is supposed to be. Packs are supposed to be very, very close to their totem. The fact that she implies I can't understand that bond is a bit weird, because it's... what I'm seeing so far isn't a particularly rare bond. You can put... mechanically speaking, you can put points in your totem. And you can gain abilities like what's being described here, like not having to talk, like being able to just telepathically understand each other across vast distances, that kind of thing. These are all pretty normal things to have with your totem. Are they thematically more appropriate for a Thurge? Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. But that doesn't make her relationship special. 5 of them. Haven't found a single one. I have no idea what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna, I think I've been all around the general area where the totem was that I would consider the cairn itself. So I'm gonna have to branch out a bit. Danger, mines, okay. Sniff? Alright, sniff, sniff. Nevada is flatter. True. There has been random stags in cutscene. That's true. Wait. Oh, wait. I have a marker now. So if you get very close to one, you get a marker. Is that what I'm seeing here? Okay, but that's like all those thingies are all over the place, and they were not interactive at the other places. So why is this one? All right, let's keep trying to find them.
This desert is being devoured by the worm. But I still feel the cairn holding strong.
Mostly because I want some brownie points with Pachua. Wait. Okay, so they tell you when you get semi-close. Okay. Just to finish with stag, while we have seen stags in some cutscenes, it's never. I don't think it's been stated that stag is the patron of the Fiannas. That sounds to be one, but I'm gonna go do this sniff sniff first. So yeah, they're not really. It's okay, they don't have to, but they're not really exploring that spiritual side. They're more representing it as a really more of a pack thing slash Karen thing by just merging the two together, which fine, I guess, if you want to oversimplify it. Terraria, do you know if there is one where the Lambda Mankind is? Because I don't want to trigger a cutscene if I can avoid it for now. I'm going to look everywhere else first, now that I know what I'm looking for. But I would assume there's a chance there's at least one of them there. First for suspects and her things are going to be fresh. On his jacket. Oh, right, yeah. No, we can change the jacket, so I probably changed it to something that does not represent stag. But even if that's the case, I mean, someone who doesn't know won't know, right? Is that the one I climbed up to? I think that's the one I climbed up to. That over there is the first one I did. So I guess we're back to trying to look around the sept itself. I'm just trying to do them because I'm hoping I'm gonna have some extra lore, a little bit of information on Pachua, I guess. Chill out, buddy, chill out. I don't think there was one in there, but I'm going to quickly take a look around, because once again, now I know what I'm looking for. It's exactly that, but not that. No, I don't see any there. So we keep going there, so instead let's explore here. Then we go down here. Okay. Yeah. We've never been there. Well, over there, yes, but not here specifically. So let's try. Okay. Okay, never mind. Going to explore where the humans are. Maybe the other two are over there, because I'm not seeing them. It's fine. Let's do that. Okay, one of them is there. And I think I saw some sniffs. Yep, sniffs. Do you think she'd know? If it's not a problem. Oh, well, never mind then. Worst case scenario, I'll look it up online and we'll just get it next time. If it's not up there, I'll just figure it out.
Bodies. The Red Talons haven't been cooperative.
Wait. Did I forget to do it? Did I just like a dumbass just walk? Yeah, I did. Okay. There we go. That's fine. I'll just figure it out off stream and come back to it. Okay, so first reference to Auspice. All right, okay. I thought I read that as Auspex, which is a vampiric power, so I was extremely confused. I think the introduction mentions that Kahal is an Around, so yes and no. That would be second reference to auspices. Sorry, but I still completely agree with what you're trying to say here. That it's weird that there seems to be so little concern, references, or relevance to someone's auspice, especially since, as I've said before, Cahal keep doing a shitload of stuff that is not his business to do at all. Yep, I'm done with this. I will look into it offline. Saying she's connected to the spirit before she was accepted by the pack. True. That's just already shifted. Fair enough. There's deniably that she was accepted by Uktena before being accepted by the Red Talons pack. Well, I don't think we know that for sure, but yeah. It's quite possible.
An old abandoned mine.
So not 100 talents, but the overly murdery ones, yes. To the point of being hostile to Hamid Garrow. Okay, so no, she's not Hamid Red Talon for sure. I get that part. Overly murderous ones, yes. Yeah. Probably, yeah, those are from the camp that they're not doing like blood rituals and super dark things yet, so I don't know which one of the two camps that do kill humans they are. Wouldn't say they're the overly murderous yet, but they're for sure on the murderous bend. To the point of being hostile to Hamid Garou, that is something I can see most camps doing, if only for show. So I'm not too against it, because they're hostile to a point, in the sense that they're being defensive of their territory. They're being very clear that they don't want these humans to stay, but at the end of the day, they're still allowing Cahal to do his thing. So hostile a bit, but not off character for most Red Talons. Then again, there are nuances there. Like, there are plenty of places where Red Talons have...
damaging as the outposts. That's what Indran's using to drain this land of all its oil.
And our first step to shutting down those outposts is getting beyond that perimeter wall. Once we do, they're finished.
There are plenty of places where Red Talons have pacts and deals with local Hamid tribes and septs. So, yeah.
I hear Endron's next big marketing push is make the desert green again. That's why they chose this place for their HQ.
Make the desert green? What the fuck? Do they not know what a desert is?
Exactly what I was thinking.
Oil, but how stupid do they think we are?
And that says she would have died if their tongue didn't connect to her. Oh, you're referring to her. Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Yeah, so assuming the game cared about camps and the nuances of the Red Talons, which I'm not convinced they were, but let's say they were. Correct. No, that makes sense. The way they reacted to her specifically, not to Cahal, I agree. Yeah, that definitely puts them in one of the two let's kill humans camp. Still may not be of the kill them at all costs camp. The ones that do really bad rituals. They could be, for sure. There's a vibe of being really not cool. So maybe. But we don't know that yet.
Endron has been looking for Tarker's milk Cairn for 5 years.
Okay, but that's... Oh, those are notes from we brought with us. Okay, that's... Wow, okay, you got out of prison, buddy. That's good for you, man.
Their outposts are too well protected. We can't even get close to the outer wall.
Ava's on it. She thinks she's found a way through the landmines.
Okay, and you're the other guy. And the objective is all the way over there. So I think I can safely talk to these two without triggering something I don't want.
Ava just told me about Adana. I'm so sorry, Cahal.
We'll get her back. Thank you for your help in the past. You took big risks for me.
You can thank me when we've got your daughter back, but just remember, my favorite way to be thanked is cold, hard cash.
Lest I forget.
Fair enough.
How did you manage to get out of prison?
Pretty simple. Ava sent Viridian's state of transfer order for me, complete with an Endron seal of approval. During the transfer, Lambda Mankind attacked my convoy, and the rest is history.
I'm sorry. I really tried, but...
I'm just busting your balls, man. You were there to save your daughter, I get it. Besides, at the end of the day, I'm out of prison.
I mean, I literally went in the garage, stole a car, got here, and he's there. So they worked very quickly to get him out of prison. Where's the other guy? Right there.
What's new?
We're surveying Andron's outposts to make sure we'll be ready to attack them. They've got a lot of defenses to get past.
So it's now past 10. I'm gonna continue for a bit, but not too much longer. Probably gonna be paying attention to the next time the game saves, which is probably gonna be after this conversation.
Ava said they're a different pack than the wolves at Tarker's Mill. We're gonna have to be careful.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna help us get points with those humans. True. True. Even the Red Talon didn't point out the break. Yeah, no, that's completely fair. Although, I mean, starting with the point where Lambda Mankind is even a thing, I'm against it. So at that point, I mean, anything else is going to go after it. It's meh. Yeah, and I other thoughts about Lambda Mankind is beyond the fact that Second Inquisition is a thing, and it's a big thing in V5, and Lambda Mankind, if that's a thing that stays in W5, both splats would just thematically go against each other. I realized something else recently. All of that is still completely true. But for a while, I thought there was a chance that maybe with the change in administration and that kind of thing, maybe they would want to go potentially in a different direction. Who knows, right? So maybe the Second Inquisition thing would end up being dropped. But they're actually making a book on Second Inquisition right now. It's not out, and it's a new team working on it, right? I think they're the ones who even announced it. So that's not going away. They're not going away from the themes of keeping up the veil and the masquerade and all of that. They're reinforcing it. So, yeah, I really don't think Lambda Mankind are going to be a thing in W5. I just don't see it happening. The veil shall not be lifted. I think that's staying. Or if even one NPC called them on it. Yeah, no, sure. I'm absolutely sure. As I said, I don't remember where I said it. I don't know if it was here, but someone somewhere, when they heard about this, would be very pissed off, and it wouldn't be long before some philodox with some authority from some tribe would either go confront them directly about it, or, more likely, would call a grand conciliation about it, and all of these werewolves would be judged severely for going along with this. I don't think there's any way it would just stay local and just no one would care. I think other septs would move against them for this. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. My guess, quite honestly, since we know... That's a guess. I did not read about that. That's completely a guess. But since we know Cahal is one of the developers' character, I'm assuming a lot of this storyline is based on what happened in their game. And once again, well, I haven't touched a lot on that, but it's something that is discussed a lot online. Like, the books are there to give inspiration. You're not supposed to stick to the books entirely. That's why the golden rule is there and that kind of thing. So, I mean, if a storyteller wanted to run a game where Lend a Mankind was a thing, and we don't talk about the veil. The veil is no longer a thing, because that's what the DM prefers. That's completely, entirely fair. You can and you should do it if that's what you want to do. But if you're making a product, to a certain extent, the golden rule applies less, in the sense that I understand you have a story you want to play, and you can bend things a little bit to make it work. But there's bending, and then there's breaking. And that storyline breaks not just Werewolf, but the whole of the World of Darkness. Every splat, even the Black Spiral Dancers, have a rule about not breaking the Veil, the Masquerade, the Dictum Mortum. Call it what you will. They all have laws about this. Even the villains, in most of the settings, don't break the Veil. The Sabbat do, but they're pretty much the exception. So it's a big step away. It's a big use of the golden rule. Completely legit in your game around your table. Not so legit if you're making an official product. Haven't read recently enough about conclaves, and I believe they're called constellations, though, not conclaves. But I'm not sure the Grand Constellation would necessarily... No, then again, in the Tribe books, in the Tribe novels, people from America did come to the one that was called out. So, yeah, maybe. But then again, in the Tribe novels, they called one because there was some bane in a river somewhere. So, I mean, some third had a dream, a vision, a terrible vision about some bane in the river. So, yay, let's call it a Grand Constellation. That was out of line too, but it still happened. She got called on her bullshit as well, though. There were many who contested that Karen Jarlsdottir had the authority to call one and shouldn't have done so. So it's a thing. It happens. The Sabbat don't. They have their own thing, but they do have something. There you go. Even the Sabbat don't. I mean, they kind of do, though. They have shovel heads and that kind of thing. But even then, that's sort of a controlled environment. They do mass embraces, creating a kind of vampire that essentially are called shovel heads. They're completely untrained vampires. They just embrace them, put them in the ground, and whichever one comes out are being shown the direction of the nearest Camarilla town and just gone ahead like, yeah, you've got superpowers now, so kill everything in sight. Those are very, very much masquerade breaches, but they do it specifically to invade Camarilla towns, and I guess in a certain way they kind of trust that the Camarilla is going to fight back against it and protect the masquerade in so doing. So, yeah. But I was mostly referring to city books that are Sabbat cities, like Montreal by Night, for example, where the masquerade is barely a suggestion. So maybe it's in their rules, but it's not enforced. or at least it wasn't in the books that I read that had to do with the Sabbat. But to be fair, I never read the Player's Guide to the Sabbat, so maybe there's something there that contradicts, for example, Montreal by Night and things like that. It would not be the first time White Wolf books contradicted each other. So, I'm not saying you're wrong. You're probably right. I'm very sure you know Vampire more than I do. But I'm just putting some bit of perspective that there are some canonical examples of the Sabbat not giving a damn about the Masquerade.
Gaha. But you're alone.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
They'd already moved Adana out of the prison by the time I got there.
Shit. Do you know where they've taken her?
Endron's Nevada HQ. That's what the leader of the Red Talons says anyway.
The Red Talons? Those fuckers have been attacking my people since we got here.
That's another thing. You don't move into another Karen's territory without, contacting them first. You can send spirits, you can send envoys, there's a lot you can do. It's kind of basic werewolf etiquette to avoid that kind of situation specifically. So they didn't do that. It's Karen's going to defend themselves. Like, for example, there are ways you can, when you're trying to, there are several kinds of moon bridges. You've got essentially your normal moon bridge, but you also have something called an attack moon bridge that you can create, and your goal is to push through the spiritual defenses and force a moon bridge to open in another sept, despite their gatekeeper and their totem refusing the connection. So when you want to invade a cairn, that's the kind of thing you can do. So all I'm saying is cairn warfare and cairn politics and diplomacy are a thing. They're a big thing, and they're not things that are vague or not covered in the books or that are something that Garou just kind of ignored. It's a law of the litany. Respect the territory of another, right? It's literally there. So it seems like a pretty big breach of etiquette that they just set up 3 feet away from their cairn. They could have gone anywhere else. Also, that's another problem as well. Just a cairn literally 3 seconds walk away from an Endron facility. It's not that easy to get that close to a sept. You have to work a lot for it. So it's a bit weird that all of these things are super close to each other, and it just happened. Especially, I get that Endron's going to actively try to, so I can live with that. But that they there just set up shop 3 feet from someone's cairn and didn't first check if it was okay, that's, again, it's not impossible. But it's a huge breach of etiquette. It's a breach of the litany. It's something that I doubt would happen. And especially if you know they're Red Talons and you're bringing humans in. Come on. Albert calling about the Red Sun, the birth of the perfect metis, and no more Garou being born. Looked it up. Okay. That was the only one? Okay. So... Okay. But what did Karen Jell's daughter do? Just a consolation? Because definitely that's a thing that happened. It's in the books. Let's try to reassure her.
They won't attack you again. I freed their leader from Endron's grip.
They captured another Garou?
They were experimenting on her before they captured Adana. Apparently my daughter makes a better test subject.
Those fucking bastards. We'll save her. I promise you.
The leader of the Red Talons agrees to hold back her wolves until we get 80 back.
But she's not going to help?
I think she's using us. We take the risks, she reaps the benefits. At least they'll leave us alone.
I'll take it, but have you seen the wall that protects those Indran outposts? It's surrounded by a minefield. Nobody here can get through their defenses. Only you.
Jam technology. That's a Glasswalker gift you have. Why am I the only one who can do that? Oh, she is a Garu too. Are you gonna? Let's try that.
Me.
Aha!
Sure, but I'm not a fighter. My strengths lie in data, Weaver stuff.
You mean mines? Weaver stuff like mines.
But I think I figured out how to deactivate their landmines and get you into an evac duct. It'd be too small for a human, of course, but a wolf could get through. Get to the other side and take care of their outposts. Deal with the men guarding the terminals in each outpost and connect me. Once I'm on their network, I'll be able to clear you a path through the maintenance zone. It's the quickest way into Indran HQ. Go see Declan. He'll tell you how to get past the minefield.
Oh, I got a bunch of points now. Wait, let's see if there's more to say.
Yeah?
Okay. Eventually I'm gonna reread the Tribe novels, so maybe I'll figure it out. What does it say? What does it say about just plain constellations? Is it a worldwide thing or just a local thing? Like, I get outside of your sept, if I remember correctly, I think that's what it is. The local septs, like the nearest ones, will show up to a constellation, and a grand constellation is a worldwide thing. So I'm not sure then why Northwind's son showed up to the constellation in Europe. Oh, no, he was sent. Another Thurge, I believe, had a vision and sent him there. Right. That's why he was American, but yet he was over there. I think that's what it is. Okay. So Karen probably called a normal constellation. That's probably what it was. I'm trying to remember because I've not read these books in almost 2 decades now. Well, yeah, but to be fair, many glasswalkers don't tend to get their hands dirty and do that kind of thing. But in a scenario like this, I think even glasswalkers would get in the field and like, I mean, any of them is what I mean. Like, because their vision, for example, of an Aeron is something more like an hacker, for example, or a lawyer, someone that will use human methods to find the worm, but would still fight the worm, per se, just not with claws and teeth. But that doesn't mean they never do. They absolutely still do. So in a situation like we are here, I understand that she works with data and that's her thing 80% of the time. But when shit hits the fan and we need to sneak in somewhere to save a kinfolk, you bet your ass any glasswalker are still gonna feel their warrior side and shift and help. This is probably more of an excuse to send me in alone.
Ava, you're not responsible for Indran taking Adana. They'd already identified her. I don't know how, but they knew about our attack. The whole thing was a trap. She was their target from the start.
If she's the one they wanted, then they've already got plans for her.
Time's against us.
I know you're just trying to take the weight off my shoulders, but this is still my fault, Cahal. I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive myself.
It's all our fault. But we'll get her back. We have to.
When you say to call a constellation, you mean a regular constellation or a grand constellation? Because she did it and she did not have 5 elders.
Endrin's offering their prisoners the same injections they were giving their recruits at Tarker's Mill. That's where their elite soldiers are coming from.
Did you destroy their lab at least?
Terria, I'm not going to allow that comment, just because it's going to go on YouTube, can you just retype it without the word, the obvious word that the Autobot flag? I'm fine with the comment. Just remove the word if you don't mind.
I couldn't have done it alone. It was too big and too well protected.
Well, I kind of killed everyone, so...
We've got Adana back.
We've got to move. I read a report from the scientists at the prison. 80's highly compatible with their program.
Ah, shit.
The leader of the Red Talons. Endron scientists used her as a guinea pig for months.
Any idea what they were doing to her?
They injected her with a substance that was supposed to lure the worm. But it didn't work because she'd already gone through her first change.
But Adana...
I know. That's why we need to get her back ASAP.
Yeah, cool. I'm just gonna say it out loud. Oh crap, no, it's not written on my screen anymore. Damn it. I would have just said it without the F word in it, so at least people can follow what you were saying. But just type it back when you got a second. That's fine.
We haven't had time to talk about Rodko.
Yeah. I can't get it out of my head. I was his lieutenant. I should have seen it. I should have done something to stop it.
Ava, I've been there. Rage gives no warning and heeds no reason. No one could see it coming. Not you, not me. Not even Rodko.
How are you holding up? You're the one who had to...
I didn't have a choice. But I wish he were still with us. We'll have to learn to live with his absence. I was able to save Yfen and the spirits from Endron's invasion.
Glad to hear it. Been worried about them for a while.
The worm has retreated from the forest. Yfen should be able to protect the cairn on his own now.
We'll be back there soon. With 80.
We will. I'm off.
Okay, so he's gone. Probably outside, I guess, or something like that, just to show me where I'm supposed to go. So I'm going to talk to him, and that's going to be the last thing for tonight. Okay. Well, hello there. No, you I did it already. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure she did not have 5 elders to do it. Might be why she got called up on not having the authority to call one anyway then. It's been a while.
Hey, you're here. Follow me.
Oh no. I thought there was going to be a conversation.
I heard
you
took
okay.
your daughter to their HQ. I can't even imagine.
We just have to get her back. Tell me about the outposts.
There are 4 entrance sites inside the perimeter. To reach them, use the evacuation duct.
And the minefield?
Go around the perimeter wall, but keep your distance. You'll see a red mark on a rock. From that mark, go straight towards the wall. Once you've reached it, stay close. Follow the wall until you find the entrance to the duct. From there, it's all up to you.
As it usually is. Okay, so they're gonna show me where the duct is, but not the mark. That's fine. We can find the mark on our own. You're right, the game did say the F word. No, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. And that's the red mark. Alright. I'm just being a bit more careful because I know that YouTube is a little bit less permissive, I guess, of these things. But you have a good point. You have a very good point. I do agree with you. Okay. Now I don't know if it's saved though. Damn it! I'm gonna have to do it. But I also kind of want to not do that because I want to make sure that I have a chance to find the last shrine, before I trigger a cutscene. You I've done. You I've done. The one over there I've done, and the one where the humans are I've done. So, strategically speaking, where would they put the last one? I agree. That's what I'm thinking too. Wait, did I get turned around? Yeah, I got turned around. That's the first one I did. There are no other paths. Okay, I guess we'll call it here for tonight. I will look up the position of the last one off screen, and that should be fine. Because everywhere else is inside a cairn, and although that's where the shrine should be, none of the places that look like shrine trigger, so yeah. Yeah, okay, we're gonna call it there for tonight. I agree with Terraria. That game probably saved after I spoke to Ava or with this guy whose name I forget right now. So I feel pretty safe about stopping roughly here. Yeah. Before I quit, I just wanted to point out I have a new video out. I have not had time in the past 2 weeks to work on the worm lore video. I do apologize about that because I was really hoping to get them out by now, but I just couldn't find the time to work on them because a lot of things have moved in the past 2 weeks for me. One of them I just can't talk about because it's about things that are not released, and I don't know exactly how much I'm allowed to say on that front, so I'm not gonna say anything, just be on the safe side and make sure I respect my NDA. But the other thing I was working on, which I had to do very quickly, is a review of a game called Lost from Beyond. So essentially what happened is I got a review key for a game that just came out last week. So I wasn't sure if I was going to review it at first because it's a game with strong sexual themes. But I decided to do it essentially because that's really not the point of the game. Sex is a theme. It's part of it, but it's not about it per se. Like it's not a porn game. I would not have done a porn game. It's just a game that happens to have sex as one of the themes they're developing. So essentially what it is a Polish game from a Polish developer is what I mean. And some of the devs from Heart of the Forest essentially now work there, which is why I got the key. They know me and just essentially wanted to see what my position on the game would be. So they got me a key so I could play the game and review it. And I was happy to oblige. So I played the game and I really had a lot of fun. It was cool. I liked it. But it's really not going to be for everybody, though. There's a serious content warning there. And quite frankly, I think half of my review is a content warning. Just to make sure that people who decide to play the game know what they're getting into first. That felt like just a responsible thing for me to do, because it's very hardcore in many ways, not just sex-wise, but also blood and gore. But if none of these things bother you, there's a lot of fun to be had in the game. Yes, exactly, yep. So I decided to do the review. Take a look if you like. As I say in the review, though, if it's not for you, if you're just immediately turned off by any game that has any sexual content in it, it's perfectly fine, and I do understand. As I said, I really had to think about whether or not I was going to review it at all, so I do understand that completely. And if you don't feel like that's a review you want to watch, it's fine. Well, I'll see you next review. But for those who don't mind, just be aware that I have a new review out. So that's there. It's available right now. I uploaded it a couple of hours ago. However, the downside to that is that I had to work on that other project I can talk about, and I had to produce a review very quickly. So I did not have time at all to work on... ooh! No, not even. Oh, come on. It seemed like a path that I could go. There might have been, a totem up there. Not a totem, but a shrine up there. Come on. Fine. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, no, there's new content is what I'm trying to say. Take a look if you want. Skip if you don't. That's perfectly fine. I understand. But the downside is I didn't do the Book of the Worm, not the Book of the Worm, but the Worm lore videos I wanted to do. But yeah. However, now that all of this is behind me, I'm going to try to get these episodes done. It looks like it's going to be, I said 3 last time, but it's probably going to be more like 4, maybe 5 even, just because the more I explain and unravel about the worm, the more I eventually think that there's this and that I should also cover, so it just kind of never ends. So it's going to be a pretty big series, I think, when all is said and done. So please bear with me, mostly because I don't want to start releasing videos until all of the script is finished for all of the episodes, just because often what happens is that I'm going to be working, for example, on, let's say, the 3rd episode, and then I realize there's something I want to expand upon, but it would really make more sense to cover it more in depth. For example, in the 1st episode, that touches more on that topic. So instead of retconning all the time what I've said before, what happens is that just as I write, the episodes just get beefier and beefier. So it's going to take a while before they're out, at least another 2 weeks, if only because this week I have a lot of things. But I have less next week. So most likely I'm going to try to blitz having all of the scripts done if I can this week, and next week I'm going to blitz recording 2 or 3 episodes and doing the editing on them. And after that, it's going to be smooth sailing because I'll know I'll have the script, so there's going to be no more modifications going around. And since the episode will release once a week, then I'm buying myself the time I need to produce the other episodes as the first batch releases. So for now, that's what I'm thinking. It might change. Really depends on how it goes as I write the scripts. But for now, that's the plan. Yes, I'm good for tomorrow. The only reason I would have to skip tomorrow is if I need time to work on the scripts. But I'm under no pressure to release these episodes right away, so don't worry about it. I had a time schedule for the project I can talk about, and I had a time schedule for the review, because ideally you want to release your review before or at release day, which I tried to do but couldn't, unfortunately, due to a technical issue. The key that I got was supposed to be a review key, but there was some confusion, so I ended up with a regular key. And what happened is that it unlocked the game, yes, but I couldn't download it. So when I got the key I should have gotten, the one they intended to send me first, the actual review key, then my Steam didn't want to accept it because it said, well, hey, you've already got this game. So I couldn't pre-download the game. So what happened is I made as much as I could in advance playing the prologue, because Lost from Beyond has 2 standalone titles that are free to play, that you don't have to buy the game for. You can just boot them up right now and play them. So I played those, and I took as much note as I could. I wrote as much of the script early as I could. And what happened essentially, that's why, I mean, at the time I didn't know when I canceled the game. I thought I would just be playing the game at that point. But what happened instead is that I played through the standalone ones on the night of our games, and the night after that I canceled something else to work on the script. And then on Thursday the game was out. So what happened is that I played as soon as work finished, because I still have a full-time job through all of that. As soon as work finished, I really can't find the other one, can I? I'm not seeing it. As soon as work finished, I booted the game on Thursdays and Friday, and I finished it Sunday. No, not Sunday. Midday Saturday. And after that was just a huge sprint of finishing the script, fixing what I said that I thought would be true based on the demos, but that aren't necessarily, not the demo, but the standalone titles, but didn't necessarily end up being completely true. I assumed they would be, but were different from the actual game itself, because there are some slight differences, or at least more in the sense that I had some impressions from the prologues that didn't turn out to be accurate. Anyway, so I fixed all of that, finished writing my whole script, taped it, and edited it all in a day. So I finished super late Saturday, and Sunday, what I did is I let it cool down. I didn't touch it for a day, just to make sure that when I touched it next, I would have a cool head. I would have some distance with it to be more critical of it. So I watched the video today, the finished video today, and I was okay with it. I liked what I said. I felt confident that what I said was true, and that I had put the correct caveat there so that people, if they choose to see the game, know what to expect, and would know what they need to accept in order to be able to enjoy the game. So I, since I was satisfied, I uploaded it around 4 a.m. So that's, wow, almost 6 hours ago already. Time flies. And I cannot find the last one. I just can't. So we'll definitely just look it up online. I've spent already way too much time looking for things that aren't there, or that are not communicated, which is fine. It might be like that I don't have access to it yet, or something like that. It might even be inside of those walls. Who knows? We'll figure it out next time. But I'm satisfied for now. So yeah, long story short, I will absolutely be there tomorrow. I'm not going to cancel anything this week just to work on my Worm Lore scripts, but I will probably be spending a lot of time Thursday working on that, because Friday there's Exalted too. So Thursdays, I guess, and Saturday is going to be blitz in terms of writing those scripts, and next week I'm going to try to tape it and edit it. So yeah, so once more, thank you, Sept, for coming along. That was nice. I really liked the prison. I kind of wished that more of the game was like that. More of the game was about role-playing and not necessarily per se infiltration, but I don't know. It just felt like a more complete experience than a lot of the time we've spent talking to NPCs and in the septs for some reason. So yeah, I liked it. I liked it. Execution could have been better, but I definitely it was one of the highlights of the game for sure. So thanks for coming. I hope you had a good time. I hope I was able to clarify some of the bits in terms of the red talons and how spirits work. Maybe we'll do a thing next time. Maybe we'll do a thing about talking about exactly how spirits work, so that next time when I say I talk about pack totems and Karen totems and all of that, it's going to make more sense to people who don't play werewolf. So I now realize that's something I absolutely should have done before. Not now though, because it's already almost 11. I don't have time to start a whole spiel about spirits and patrons. But let's do that for next time. I think that's good content that's going to help newcomers. And I'm not saying that pejoratively at all, by the way. Newcomers are completely welcome. That's why I do this. I want to share what I know. I want to teach werewolf. That's a passion of mine. But I feel like I haven't actually done a whole lot of that while playing Earthblood. And I should. So I'm going to do that next week. We're going to talk about spirits, totems, and how these things work, how the relationships work a little bit. The 4 layers of rank, so to speak, in spirits as well, so that when I was talking about a celestial being more powerful than a Karen totem, what does that even mean, right? So let's do that next week. And after that, we're going to sneak through some mines and probably get blown up to bits. Who knows? We'll figure these things out. But for tonight, that's enough. Thank you very much for coming. And please have a great evening and see you all in a week.